Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto X watches One Piece. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by SYMBAL21 and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Chapter 1. Follow it. The light that guides the dreamers. Fire. A voice yelled as explosions lit up the sky. The small but fierce pirate ship was being pursued by a fleet of much larger ships. With the beaming face of a lion, this brilliantly decorated and cherished vessel is known as the Thousand Sunny across the seas, but to his crew, he is more endearingly called the Sunny Go in memorial to his late brother. A mist begins to brew on these already chaotic waters, leaving the path for the Sunny unclear. Great. As soon as we hit the new world we get chased by the Marines again. I thought things were supposed to be more exciting here, said a touchy young man as he hurled back a cannonball with only the strength of his legs. Humph, sounds more like you've gotten rusty these past 2 years, a couple of Marines are getting you tight, said another brash young man. 3 cannonballs approached the ship at full speed. With a single swing of one of his 3 blades, the cannonballs were cut seamlessly across the center and dropped into the oceans below. What did you say, you shitty swordsman? The young blonde dropped from the air with fury in his eyes. Sanji. Zoro. Now is not the time for your stupid arguments. Let's focus on staying alive here. A long-nosed boy demanded. Nami. How do we get out of here? The fog is making it hard to set a course. And all this commotion is making it hard to focus. Frankie, can we burst out of here? The frustrated girl tried her best to open the map in her hand but found herself being struck by erupting waves. Ow. We can be out of here in a super minute once we've repowered the Sunny with cola. Frankie, the large cyborg, announced from the engine room. I wonder how Luffy is going to get back to the Sunny. It was pretty reckless of him to go straight to the ships. A small Tanuahem reindeer said before transforming into a large ball of fur, taking the impact of several cannonballs. Yo-ho-ho-ho. Do not worry, Chopper-san. He is our captain after all, said the ironically liveliest member of the crew, a reanimated skeleton. Luffy sighing. Give them the full force of your soul. My heart yearns for your return. Although I don't have a heart. Yo-ho-ho-ho. His enormous afro seemed to dance with a burst of bombs in the air. You're so energetic, Brook. You're almost making me jealous, sighed a long-nosed man. Well, this moment will be just as good as any to add to the great adventures of Captain Usopp Part 2. Hey Robin, can you see my subordinate, I mean our captain, from up there? An enigmatic woman stood in the crow's nest of the ship. She stared silently at the oncoming fleet of ships attacking them, looking for a sign of some sort. The onslaught continued as the ships grew ever closer to the spirited crew. Suddenly, one of the ships burst into flames. Just as quickly it was split in half and sank into the sea. Look. She called. The entire pirate crew stared in awe as another ship soon crumbled. A smile appeared on everyone on board the Sunny Go. Luffy. They all shouted in familiar excitement. On board the marine ships, however, things were not as joyous. One boy was warping place to place, stirring up the marine ship. At him. Ah, he jumped. Where'd he go? Come back here, Straw Hat. Landing on his feet in the center of the ship, he stood with a straw hat on his head and an unbreakable smile and vigor shined brightly from his face. The horde of Marines surrounded him with blades and guns at the ready. Straw Hat Luffy. Infamous pirate from the worst generation with a 400 million berry bounty. You will be apprehended today. Without a second thought he prepped his fists, much to the dismay of the hesitant Marines. Gum Gatling. The flurry of punches battered and spread the group all across the oceans. An onlooker on one of the other ships rushed to the captain of this vessel to report. Captain Smoker. This kitty just sank one of our ships and he's approaching another one. It won't be long before he gets here. What are you doing reporting to me when you could be using that time capturing Straw Hat? A grizzly Marine interrupted. If you were not ready for this kind of power then you shouldn't have become a Marine. Keep all cannons focused on the Straw Hat ship. I'll deal with Monkey D. Luffy myself, he said, chomping on his 2 cigars. Ashigi, report to the G11 base, tell them we have the Straw Hats cornered and they are approaching their base. Yes, Smoker-san, said the confident yet naive-looking girl. Man, I thought you New World Marines would be tougher than this. I guess some things don't change. Luffy sighed, sitting on the banister with his eyes closed. You cheeky rubber bastard, a Marine said before firing a bullet at him. It burst and revealed a net lined with sea stone. Unfortunately, by the time the net met its destination, Luffy had vanished. Looks like this one is going down too, Luffy said, now high in the air. The terrified Marines watched on in horror as he stretched his leg into the sky beyond him. Color of armaments hardening, Luffy's foot turned black and hard as metal. Tears fell down the many faces of the Marines, their fate was sealed. Gum. Not again. They screamed. Axe. Luffy sent his foot crashing into the ship. Suddenly, as if summoned from heaven itself, a cloud of smoke burst towards the rubber man. Before Luffy could finish his attack, Smoker had stabbed him in the gut with his jut. He also took the brunt of the force from the axe attack, but was able to shake off most of it with his own color of armaments. With a swift punch, Luffy was grounded once again. Straw Hat Luffy, maybe someday you'll realize you can never escape me. I've spent these 2 years patiently waiting, knowing you'd reveal yourself again eventually. Smoker claimed as he reappeared on the deck in a cloud of smoke. You can only imagine my excitement when you did exactly as I imagined you'd do. Oh great, this is Smokey's ship. Luffy responded as he got back up on his feet. And it looks like you're ready to fight. Yahoo! Our Smo-san is amazing. The Marines began cheering. Take him out. Show him the fury of G5. It looks like you've learned how to use hockey. Maybe you'll actually put up a fight this time. Smoker retorted, coming as close to a smile as his nature allowed him. Luffy greeted the stare with an excited grin. Luffy. A voice echoed from afar. Both Smoker and Luffy turned to see the terror that lay before them. The ocean currents approached a gargantuan mountain. It seemed to have been born out of the mist itself, swallowing the barely visible sky. This isn't an ocean. It's a gulf. We're heading straight into that mountain. Tashigi said. Luffy, you have to get back on the Sunny. If we could burst from where we are now with all of our power, we have a shot at clearing it. Nami said as loud as she could. So get your dumbus over here. Zoro yelled. Well sorry Smokey, we're going to have fight some other time. Luffy said as he stretched his arm. Alright guys, I'm on my way. He wrapped it around the mast and landed on it. He then jumped back, arms still connected to the mast. Gum rocket. He flung himself off the ship. Cease fire and stop all of the ships. I'm not going to let this chance slip away just like that. Smoker ordered. But Smoker-san, there's no way they can make it over that monster, they'll die for sure if they continue. They couldn't have survived the seas this long if they were that stupid, we have them right where we want them. A Marine said. Smoker grumbled, clearly aggravated by the statement. Remember this, men, and remember it well. When dealing with the Straw Hat Pirates, know that they would rather risk dying than surrender to the enemy. They have willpower far unlike the scum we usually wipe off the seas. Whether they live or die, they'll risk it to continue fighting another day. And I want to capture them myself, and I want to capture them alive. White launcher. He immediately burst into smoke and began pursuing the flying Straw Hat. You have your orders. He yelled back. Frankie, are we all loaded? Usopp asked, frantically running down the stairs that led into the engine room. Just give me the word and we're super out of here. Frankie said with thumbs up. We're ready, Nami. Usopp announced. Okay Chopper, if you can steer us facing towards one of the sides of the mountain, we may have a clearing. Alright Nami. He then transformed into his giant human form and ran to the helm. Now we just have to wait until our idiot captain gets back. Sanji said as he lit a cigarette. Let's just hope we don't get too close to the mountain by then, or else we'll just slam into it and leave a bloody red stain. Robin said, coming down from the crow's nest. Why do you always have to do that? Usopp said with tears in his eyes. Robin replied only with an innocent stare. Luffy approached the Sunny at a breakneck pace. The speed began to distort his face, spreading saliva everywhere and flapping his rubber face. Straw Hat. Smoker called not far behind him. Uh-oh. Luffy said, turning back to see his adversary. Multi-white blow. Gum Gatling. The two attacks furiously collided with each other. In an odd dance they curled, wrapped, and struck each other as if they were a ball of combating snakes. Hey, I think I see Luffy and something's behind him. Zoro said, peering out over the bow. We're moving to close. We'll lose our chance. Frankie, burst us out of here now. Nami ordered. Luffy can always stretch on board the ship. Hey Luffy, we're about to, Zoro began. But the swordsman was cut short as he noticed the dueling snakes approaching faster than the cannonballs. Luffy is coming in fast. Soon everyone on board looked out and instantly recognized the danger. Luffy. Usopp screamed. Luffy was just able to glance at the ship before it was too late. Smoker was too focused on catching Luffy to notice that his attack skewed them both on course with the ship itself. Gouda burst. The ship engine burst with power and began to propel the ship. At the same moment Luffy crashed into the Sunny. Now the ship was rocketing straight forward towards the mountain. Ah. That idiot. He diverted the shot, now we're going straight into it instead of around. Nami explained, now in terror. Smoker, finally realizing what was happening, stopped his momentum. But it was too late and he was shot back by the force of the burst and eventually fell into the ocean. Smoker-san. The Marines yelled in unison, fearing the worst for their captain. Luffy was almost blasted away like Smoker, but managed to grab a banister at the last second. The Straw Hats all clung to the Sunny for dear life as they stared face first into death. The ever-looming shadow of the mountain got closer and closer. Oh, how can this be the end? My life is flashing before my eyes. Oh, it was a great tale, the adventures of the great Captain Yusuf. Wait, something is flashing. Robin said, trying her best to both hold on to the boat and keep her eyes open. Luffy was also able to steal a glance as an enormous white light began to shine. The fog dissipated in its wake. I hear a voice, Luffy said to himself. Summoning. A distant voice echoed. Who is that? He began to ponder. Outer world, the echo trailed on. The light became a void. All the Straw Hats got a glance into the infinite glare. The Straw Hats disappeared into the light and were nowhere to be seen. The Marines had gotten halfway towards the mountain and a team went under to rescue their leader. Tashigi looked at the mountain, questions plaguing her mind. Just, what have you done this time? Straw Hat Luffy. Deep in the foreboding and endless forest, hidden in the leaves lies a village. This appropriately dubbed Konohagakure is the home to many powerful shinobi. While on the outside it may seem like any other peaceful village, its quest for peace is a long and bloody tale of fighting for control of power. However, the village has survived through it all, with its passed-down belief in the will of fire. Love, family, and the strength to fight for those things will lead a powerful shinobi through his life. Not too far from the village can be found the Valley of the End, a waterfall where statues of the village founders rest. Atop the statue of founder Hashirama Senju sits one of the most prominent members of Konoha, a powerful knucklehead ninja. But now, he was not so much. What once was an eager young boy trying to gain recognition had become a young man with too much on his plate too soon. The smile that used to always appear on his face right before a battle or any chance he had to prove himself is now hidden behind the solemn gaze he wears in an attempt to sort out the future. Across this gaze lies the face of a man he has yet to ever face in battle and is long dead. However, as he looks at it, it reminds him of someone from his past, someone he has yet to let go of, and it fills him with dread. If you attack Konoha, I'll have to fight you. His own words echoed in his mind. I will shoulder your burden and die with you. I won't change, I don't want to understand you, and I don't plan on dying. A dark-haired boy said. The boy clutched his heart. I'll kill you first. Naruto, you still have your dream of becoming Hokage. He began to choke up as the thoughts continued to circle in his mind. Naruto, you don't have to worry about Sasuke anymore, please just come home. Uzumaki Naruto and Sasuke Uchiha, you two were destined to fight. On the brink of tears, the boy swallows his sadness and begins meditating. I have to stand by my word. When we fight, we will both die. Naruto thought to himself. Then we can be happy in the next world. Right, Sasuke? As he meditates, he enters a state where he is one with nature, becoming a sage. In this state he notices a presence. Kakashi-sensei, Yamato-sensei, I know you're here. He said calmly. From a small thicket a masked man reveals himself. Sorry. Didn't want to interrupt your special training. A slightly younger man also walks from the bushes. Why are you here? Well, some of us noticed you weren't in the village, and especially considering what's happened recently, we figured you were alone somewhere still training to control the Nine Tails. I was helping a couple of travelers find their way from Konoha to the Suna and decided to check this place out just in case you were here. Kakashi replied. Hey, cut the crap. You still don't trust me training to use the Nine Tails on my own, do you? The boy replied angrily, leaving his meditation stance. No, of course not. Yamato assured. Then why did you come along? Look, I can control the fox chakra now. I've had a lot of time to get to know Kurama. Even B says we've become a great team. I don't need to be babysat by you guys anymore. Kurama? Kakashi said, confused. Oh yay, that's the Nine Tails name, Kurama. It's what the Sage of Six Paths named him when he created him. Naruto said with bright eyes. The tailed beast has names. Yamato said, still confused. And just what more have you been learning about the Sage of Six Paths? Kakashi inquired. Well, not much beyond what Kurama tells me. I can show you guys what we can do together. Naruto said excitedly. He faced the waterfall and took a deep breath. Be ready, Kurama. Naruto said. Suddenly a bright light quickly flashed in the sky behind them. What's that? Kakashi said, covering his eye. It looks like it's over Konoha. Yamato said. Oh man, I was about to show you something really cool though. I'm sure it was just someone practicing some jutsu. Naruto assured. I don't want to take that chance, come on Naruto. Kakashi said. He and Yamato quickly left the scene. Arg, damn it. Hey wait. This is a chance to show them what I'm made of. Naruto wickedly smiled. As they leapt through the trees, suddenly a flash of orange light burst past them. It landed on a tree beyond the two jonin. In another flash it disappeared. And Naruto? Kakashi said in awe. The bright light engulfed the sky over the village. People began to flock outside to see what all the commotion was. Children stared at the sky in awe until they were eventually reprimanded by their parents for staring straight at the sun. "Whoa, what do you think that was?" a plump ninja asked his teammates. They were at their favorite barbecue when the sudden flash appeared. "I dunno, someone probably lost control of their jutsu, now the Hokage's gonna make all of us investigate and make everything a drag. How troublesome." His friend responded. "It's so bright, it hurts to look at," their female companion said. Meanwhile in the streets of Konoha. "That was an unusual light. Hinata, Kiba be alert," a shady character told his comrades. "Something came through it," the shy female said. You saw something, Hinata?" Kiba asked. "Ai sensei, look up there," said a youthful ninja as he continued to push up on one hand atop the roof of the barbecue hut. However, he broke his teacher's concentration, causing Guy to come fall on his ass. On the rooftop of the Hokage residence, the Hokage herself looked upon the sky in worry. Some ninja arrived next to her. "Lady Tsunade, we are preparing a team to inspect that light that appeared. Should we evacuate the villagers? Right now just make sure that whatever team that's been sent out has Shikamaru Nara on it and a member of the Hyuga clan. If this is some kind of sneak invasion, I want to make sure we're prepared." "Yes, Lady Tsunade." They left without a trace. "Although I may want to look at this myself. I feel like I've seen that before." Suddenly something caught her eye. A straw hat was flying gently in the breeze. "Alright, what do we have here?" Shikamaru yawned as he walked through the crowds of people standing where the light had appeared. "What do you see, Hinata?" Kiba prodded. "It looks like a ship with a lion face," she began. "Hinata, something came with that light," Shikamaru overhearing asked. "Yes, and it's coming closer. It's pretty big. Everybody back away, something is falling. Until further notice, stay inside. This is an evacuation," Shikamaru ordered. "Choji, Ino, help us get everyone to safety." "Right," they both said. There are people on it," Hinata announced in shock. "What? Great, an invasion, better not take any chances. Kitetsu, call in a few more reinforcements. If this is some sort of invasion from another village, we need to be at the ready." "Yeah." In a flash he was gone. People began to scatter as the shinobi tried to calm and escort everyone a safe distance. Soon a shadow began to form on the ground. Shouts of terror began to fill the air as the ship came ever closer. "Well, there's the ship, but I can't see the people. Do they look dangerous, Hinata?" "Actually, they look terrified," she said, surprised. Shikamaru stared in disbelief. Soon a noise filled the air. "SSSSSSSSSSSSST. Oh, what is that?" one of the ninjas wondered. "Oop. It's getting louder," Ino said. "I. Everyone be prepared," Shino said as the insects in his blood got excited. "Somebody stop this crazy thing." The message came in clear as day now. Everyone now shared the same expression of shock and fear as the ship finally crashed hard into the ground. A wave of dust across the anxious shinobi. Chapter 2. The unprecedented encounter. Dust and debris swept over the village. The confused villagers tried their best to shield their eyes and escape. The trusted shinobi of Konoha stood barely flinching, awaiting what was hidden in the cloud. As the smoke cleared, a large ship came into view. "Wow, it's huge. It could be a whole armada," Chaoji said. "Damn, we're gonna need those reinforcements." "Hinata, can you see inside? How many people are we dealing with?" Shikamaru asked. Hinata, having been knocked over by the blast, slowly began to rise to her feet. "Byakugan. 3, 4, she counted the images. 5 people on the deck. She then brought her eyes towards the back of the ship. 2 people in a chamber on the bottom and 1 person seems to be in the back. That's it. On that huge ship," Kiba said. "They don't seem normal," Hinata said. Rock Lee and Might Guy dropped down onto the crowd. Kitetsu and the other Chunin also arrived. "It looks like easy pickings then," Kitetsu said with his army. "If we are dealing with invaders, I will be sure to give it my best to defend our village," Rock Lee announced. "Let's see if they can handle the green beasts of Konoha," Guy agreed. "Ooh-oh," a voice trailed off the ship. Everyone tensed up as someone began to rise from the deck. "That idiot, what did he learn these past 2 years? How to be even more reckless?" the young pirate girl said, trying to clean herself off. "Nami, are you okay?" Chopper said, rubbing his head. "I should make sure everyone's not seriously hurt." Usopp walked out on the deck, straightening his nose. "That was a pretty bad fall. Where did we end up?" he said. He then looked over the deck to see the crowd of ninjas with their weapons at the ready. A cold sweat instantly poured over his body. "Eyes." Robin, rising to her feet, peered over port and also saw the crowd. "Listen up, all of you on the ship," Shikamaru commanded. I'd prefer not to fight if I don't have to. So I'm gonna give you guys the chance to explain yourselves. What are you doing here and what is with that light? Soon the four straw hats realized they were not welcome in this new strange environment. Hold on a minute. I can explain everything. We're not here to hurt anyone. Nami began to frantically explain. Usopp nodded in agreement with every word. Yes, we're here by a mistake. Please don't attack us. Chopper pleaded. We're not monsters. Nami began to calm down. You see, we just wound up here while. Get off of me, Brook. Sanji said, kicking the skeleton off the ship. Everyone watched in horror as the body slowly descended onto the ground. Brook drooled as he lay there silently. Clear as day, a dead body just fell off this strange ship. The amount of disgust resonated in the air, everyone was silent, but the faces said it all. Chopper, Usopp and Nami all had the same feeling of hatred for their once beloved chef. Oh my head. He said, brushing the dirt and Brook stank off himself. He then looked up. Oh Nami Swan, Robin Chwan. I'm so glad you're not hurt. Sanji said as he ran to his beloved pirate women. That Chopper began. Freaking Usopp continued. Nami finished. Without another moment's hesitation, Chunin launched into the air prepared to assault the Straw Hats. Hum quietly, you sick bastards, and this will all be easier. One of the Chunin said. Why you? Sanji said, prepared to fight. Sanji, don't do anything else stupid, just let Nami and I do all the talking. We can reason with them. Usopp said, trying to hold Sanji back. Suddenly, the ninja all fell, blood oozing from their mouths. They couldn't even react before the blade sliced through each one of them. You people, he said as he held his now crimson sword, are too damn noisy. Zoro, you bastard. Nami and Usopp screamed. Zoro, you're so dumb. But awesome. Chopper said with sparkles in his eyes. Now they're definitely a threat, stop them. Shikamaru ordered. Half the ninja force jumped on board the ship prepared to attack. Hey Moss Head, you stole my prey. Why don't you just go back to sleep and let the real men handle this? Sanji said. Then who would be here to teach you how to fight? Zoro countered. No. Don't attack us. I warn you, we may be small, but we are an extremely powerful crew of dangerous pirates. If you fight us it'll be your funeral. So don't even bother. Usopp pleaded. There's only 9 of you versus the forces of Konoha. Stop lying to save yourself. A ninja denounced. Lying, how? Usopp grinned. As soon as they landed they were finished. Sure, kill Green Star. Human Drake. Odd Plants latched onto 3 unlucky ninja as soon as they touched the deck. The rest looked on in anger and threw their shuriken down at the ship. Chopper jumped up into the air. Guard point. The disc bounced off his body in every other direction. Kung Fu point. He then assaulted a small group of the attackers, sending them back to Earth. More of the ninja on the ship watched on in both amazement and rage. What is that thing? One said before an arm appeared on her shoulder. Soon multiple arms wrapped themselves around her, grabbing her neck, arms and legs. 4 others also shared her fate. Clutch. Robin said as the cracking sound of bones filled the air. They have some weird jutsu. That guy wasn't lying there, pretty tough. Shikamaru said, looking on at the carnage. It serves us right for underestimating the opponent. Shino remarked. It appears we will need to use all of our available units, lest we risk being taken by surprise again. We didn't come here to start a fight, you ninja bastards. Sanji said, kicking away a small crowd. Nami began firing small black clouds wrapped in bubbles from her cleam attacked. It doesn't help to kick them while trying to prove you're innocent. She said as the clouds exploded with electricity, shocking her pursuers. Zoro ran through another unfortunate group with his blades. It's too late for that kind of talk. We're fighting now, just enjoy it while they last. Hey. Who said you guys could start fighting on the Sunny? She's already badly damaged. An enraged robot appeared on the deck. Frankie. Zoro said. 0.5 liter coup event. Soon everyone was sent flying off the ship. The crew landed close to the spot Brook was. It was raining ninjas. Frankie jumped down and posed in his familiar stance. Ow. You bastards want to hurt the Sunny. You're gonna have to go through her pops right here. He said defiantly. Super. Frankie. I'll kill you later for that. Sanji said, getting on his feet. Suddenly, Tsunade and a much larger force of ninja arrived. Lady Tsunade. Shikamaru said. It looks like it's as I feared, invaders. She said. But they look so unusual and don't seem to be coming from any particular village. Perhaps they are a group of missing ninjas. Shizune suggested. Tsunade studied the flag on their ship, recognizing the hat. I'd say more like pirates. Pirates? Shizune responded in shock. It doesn't matter, right now they need to be apprehended and interrogated. Tsunade said. Sakura, you and I will tend to the fallen ninja. Something tells me these guys are going to be a hassle. Yes, Lady Tsunade. Sakura said. Leaf Village Shinobi. Show them the fury of the will of fire. Yes, Lord Hokage. The ninja responded without question. That must be their leader. Seems to be more brain than brawn. Zoro assumed. And more beautiful than anything. Sanji exclaimed, getting weak in the knees. Umbus. Now the battlefield was set, the Straw Hats versus Konoha. Oh, but what about their captain? Where's Luffy? Atop the Hokage monument, a lone masked man stood. His one visible eye was glaring at the commotion from afar. His cloak wrestled furiously with the wind. I don't understand. What were you trying to accomplish? This had nothing to do with our plan. He thought to himself. He clutched a straw hat in his hands and gave it a questioning gaze. Perhaps these intruders can serve a purpose to me in the end. He released the hat and set off in the high-altitude gust. Its journey was cut short as it got latched onto one of the spikes that made the fourth Hokage's hair. With no other options, it waits patiently among the flowing winds. The sounds of war echoed throughout the village. Fist connected, blades locked, bones broke, and blood was flowed. The ninja forces were being swept left and right, but unlike the many marines the Straw Hats faced in the past, the ninja got back up and refused to go down completely. Bruised and battered, the Straw Hats only smiled as they continued to show their strength. The battle began to change from protecting the city to proving who was stronger. Strong right. Frankie's right arm shot forward with great momentum. Some unlucky ninjas got knocked out by the force, but a few evaded the attack. 10-10 began running across the arm and 2 ran along the sides. She jumped in the air and released a scroll, sending a wave of kunai at her opponent. They all struck the cyborg at the same time. However, Frankie stood unfazed as they could not pierce his metal body. He then knocked them away and aimed his left arm. Weapons left. Bullets began flying in every direction, faster than the ninja could react. Many began to fall. Fang over fang. Hiba and Akamaru charged, spiraling towards the robot. Chopper intercepted the attack. Guard point. But the reindeer found himself struggling to hold off the attack. Out of the way, you tanuki monster. Kiba said as he left his spin. Hiba then kicked the furball aside, sending Chopper bouncing away. But his moment of victory was short-lived as he was struck with a vengeance by Sanji. Veal shot. Hiba was sent flying through some buildings. Akamaru, enraged, attempted to bite him, but Sanji kicked the pooch once in the gut and sent him away with another to the face. Rock Lee flipped backwards at a fast pace and jumped into the air, attempting to land an aerial attack on Sanji. Sanji evaded the attack and responded with a kick. Rock Lee diverted the attack and attempted a couple of punches at Sanji, which he easily evaded. Leaf whirlwind. Sanji dodged one kick and blocked the other with his foot. He then knocked Rock Lee off balance and kicked him away. At the same moment, Zoro was cutting down ninjas like trees. Everyone, be careful against the samurai. He seems to be the poor ninja didn't even get a chance to finish his warning before Zoro ripped through him. We have a samurai from the land of iron here. He seems to be the most dangerous. A ninja announced. Let me handle him. An eager Asuma said as he activated his knuckle blades. Hopefully you'll last longer than your friends here. Zoro said confidently. You got a lot of bark for a guy taking out rookies. Try testing those blades on me. Asuma retorted. The two rushed at each other like a demon and a beast in combat. The blades furiously clashed against each other, sparks flying each and every direction. Zoro attempted a decapitation technique with the Wado Ichimonji between his teeth, but Asuma was able to block. Zoro then jumped slightly and tried a side swipe. Asuma jumped in the air and over the swordsman's, attempting to cut him from this position. Zoro blocked each attack as he landed. The two charged once again at each other, and as the blades locked, the two fighters bore confident grins. Not bad. Zoro said, congratulating his opponent. But there's no way you can beat me. Before he could finish his attack, both warriors had to back away from each other. The large oncoming ball. Human boulder. Robin on the receiving end of the attack stood unwavering. Cyan floor. Two large hands appeared. Shove. The two hands pushed hard against the attack. Robin showed signs of straining, trying to push the hefty ninja out of her way. Some ninja behind her took this opportunity to attack. Robin smiled and began to fade away, revealing it as a clone. The two arms also faded. Chaoji. It was too late. Chaoji crashed into the ninjas and only stopped after they were crushed. Oh, sorry guys. He said, embarrassed. Robin stood a few feet away with an innocent smile. Grrr are you? Chaoji said angrily. Lil floor. Super expansion jutsu. Slam. Chaoji's arms enlarged and challenged a flower attack. At the same moment, a group of ninja were following Nami, throwing their kunai. Nami barely evaded the attacks and even managed to parry some with her clean attack. Suddenly the ground below her began to break apart. Earth style. Earth decomposition. The Jonin began breaking apart the dirt around her. Nami fell into the ditch and was seemingly crushed. Excellent, we got one of the weak ones. The ninja said, proud of himself. Let's tie her up and The spark could be heard. You really should know the difference between a mirage and the real thing. A voice said. Underball. The ninjas could see a lone black cloud floating away from them. Under Lance tempo. Suddenly a bolt of lightning shot from the cloud, piercing all in its path. Where did that, he choked out before collapsing. Don't underestimate me just because I'm cute. Nami said, appearing out of thin air. Very well then. A voice said. 8 trigrams vacuum palm. Before she could react, Nami was blown away by a burst of energy. She crashed hard into some trees and started bleeding from the mouth, barely conscious. You have some dangerously deceptive techniques, but you can't hide from my eyes. Niji said. Before he could approach his target, he backed out of the way from a powerful kick. How dare you attack a beautiful young woman so relentlessly? Sanji said, infuriated with the young Hyuga. I'll fillet you and serve you on a steaming plate of my passion. I'm sure you would. Just like that poor man you kicked off your ship after you were done swallowing his flesh. Niji said, getting in his trigram stance. Why do you have such a sick imagination? We didn't eat anyone. Arg, it doesn't matter, you're toast. Mutton shot. 8 trigrams palm rotation. The two attacks clashed against each other. Meanwhile, Shino sent a cloud of bugs towards Usopp, who was busy running for his life. He dropped a pop green on the ground and left it behind. Ha! He said after he was a safe distance from the insects. Special attack, green star. Rafflesia. A huge flower popped up from the ground. The bugs found themselves drawn to it and wound up, stuck inside the nectar in the center. Hahaha. The Rafflesia's smell attracts insects of all kinds so that they meet their doom. Let's see you stop me now, you creepy bug guy. Shino was already in front of him by the time he finished his sentence. He punched Usopp just as quickly. That wasn't supposed to happen. Usopp said, staggering. Oh, what's that smell? Kiba groaned as he fell to the horrible stench. Usopp, I hate when you use that technique. Chopper said, also hampered by the smell. Come on, we got them on the ropes. Frankie said, still firing shots from his left arm. Fire-style fireball jutsu. Suddenly a blaze cut through the flower and continued on towards Usopp and Shino. Shino jumped out of the way and Usopp ran as fast as he could. No, 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 Usopp chanted. Santorio 36 caliber Phoenix. The swift wind cut through the flames. Hey, watch it, Zoro, you could have cut me in two. Usopp said, having just evaded Zoro's attack. Where did that come from? Zoro wondered as he walked past Usopp. Don't ignore me. But I wasn't too late. Kakashi said, walking past the burning Rafflesia. It seems we're not dealing with normal intruders. I can sense a pretty strong aura from you. Better than that boxing punk. Perhaps you're just the one I've been waiting for. Zoro said excitedly. Kakashi examined the battlefield. Asuma lay beaten on the floor, bloodied. Ninjas were spread everywhere, trying their hardest to get back on their feet. Medical ninjas were rushing frantically to procure bodies from the carnage. It was a losing battle. Shikamaru, perhaps it's time to stop taking them lightly. It's not looking too good for us. We need a plan. Right. Shikamaru groaned. He began observing. Chopper was being kept busy by Kiba and Akamaru's assault. However, his transforming made it difficult for them to keep up with him. Hinata and Niji attempted to attack Frankie with their gentle fist to no avail. Rock Lee, now with gates open, continued to push Sanji in combat, but the strength of Sanji's kicks began taking their toll. While some ninja were trying to use ninjutsu, they became victims to Robin's clutch. While some ninjas were attacking a mirage of Nami, a pop green burst releasing a bamboo javelin forest below the ninja. Alright, I'm gonna need a diversion so I can regroup with some people. Leave it to me. Kakashi said. Meanwhile, Yamato had gone straight to the ship. This is a very odd ship. Doesn't look like it comes from this era at all. Yamato said, inspecting it. Well, if I commandeer the ship, we can learn more about where they came from. He said as he prepared the hand signs for a jutsu. Hey, can someone help me? A voice said. Yamato looked up and saw inside the large of the ship. A body was stuck inside. Damn it. Naruto said as he leapt from tree to tree. I swore I was in the lead. You still can't see when you're moving with my cloak. A voice from within said. Shut up, Kurama. I can use it just fine. I just decided to take the long route. Naruto retorted. Sure. You better not be late. If it is invaders, it's been my experience that Konoha isn't very difficult to destroy. Kurama said. You just keep talking, I'm gonna be just in time. Naruto replied confidently. I do wonder if Kakashi and Yamato made it. I hope everything is okay. Hey, what was that about Konoha? Thick fog began to cover the battlefield. What's this? It didn't feel like fog was coming at all. Nami said, confused. That weirdo with the one eye did it. Looks like he has some sort of ability. Zoro said. "You're one to talk about one-eyed weirdos," Nami said. Everything eventually disappeared in mist. The cowards trying to retreat now that they're losing. They're not worth the time. Zoro said disgusted. "Now's our chance to get out of here," Usopp said. "And go where we don't even know what island we're on right now or how we got here," Sanji said. "We should stay on our guard. The enemy wouldn't use a technique like this unless it was advantageous to them," Robin suggested. "Oh, trust me, they can't hide from me," Zoro said. "Alright, these guys are pretty strong even on their own, but together they're even worse," Shikamaru began. "But we can win, we just have to exploit their weaknesses like they're exposing ours. Ino, I'm gonna need you to use your mind-body switch jutsu on the woman in the flower dress. Right now she's the most dangerous since her jutsu is instantaneous and restraining." "No problem," Ino said. "The next most dangerous ones are the girl with orange hair and Pinocchio. This is where the Hyuga clan comes in. You guys can see where the girl is no matter what jutsu she uses and you can pinpoint where those seeds are." "We can do that," Neji said. Hinata agreed. "As for the transforming monster, it's good we have Kakashi-sensei here. The monster fights mostly defensively with that first shield, but I doubt it can hold against lightning techniques. I don't know what that huge guy is made of, but it's too hard for even kunai to pierce. Rock Lee and Guy-sensei, I'm going to need your strong fist to try and bring him down. He's strong, but slow shouldn't be too difficult for you too." "You got it," Guy said. "Now for those two headaches, the blonde guy and the samurai. The blonde guy seems to have a thing with women, I doubt he'd hurt a girl. Sakura, you think you can take him?" "Of course," Sakura replied, happy to be a part of the action. "As for the swordsman, I'll try to hold him down with my shadow possession jutsu. Shino, your bug should work well to stop him after that." "We shall see," Shino said, pushing up his glasses. "Santoryu. Dragon Twister." A powerful gust blew away the mist. "I hope that wasn't your trump card, cause if that's the case, this is gonna end pretty badly for you," Sanji said, lighting a cigarette. "HMPH, you guys already lost this fight." "Attack," Shikamaru boldly claimed. Hang over Fang. Hiba and Akamaru charged towards the crew, going every which way. The Straw Hats dispersed, leaving them open to a counter-attack. "I'll handle them," Chopper said. "Guard point." Lightning Blade. Before Chopper could intercept the dogs, Kakashi came crashing upon him. Luckily Chopper got out of the way just in time to avoid being pierced. Lightning Style. Lightning Beast running jutsu. Unfortunately Chopper was caught in the next attack. An electrical demon ran through Chopper, sending shocks throughout his entire body and blasting him a good distance. "Chopper!" Robin cried. Mind body switch jutsu. Before she could react, Robin was taken possession of by the young ninja. "Measy. Don't worry, Robin, I don't know what she did, but I'll save you," Nami thought to herself, having become invisible again. 8 trigrams. Not this time. Nami thought, trying to get out of the way of Niji's attack. Gentle step. Twin lion's fists. Nami was once again knocked back by the technique. She struggled to move her body at all this time. "Nami," Usopp said. "I got this." Special attack. Green Star Devil. As the seed launched, Niji struck it with his gentle fist, completely obliterating it. "Ah, you try this." Exploding stars. Usopp launched multiple bombs across the field. 8 trigram 64 palms guard. Hinata destroyed each one before they hit anywhere. "Oh, they're fighting smarter now," Usopp realized. "Bastard," Sanji said, preparing to strike Niji. "No way," Sakura said as she slammed Sanji into the ground with her fist. "Alright, whose ass do I have to?" Sanji said, now bleeding from his mouth. He then took a look at Sakura. "Ah, baby-chan. Such power from such a delicate frame," Sanji said, completely off guard. "Oh. You think I'm cute?" Sakura said, flattered and posing. Then Sanji took a look a few feet farther back and noticed Hinata. "Ooh. Super cute chwan. Your milky gaze captured my heart from across the stars from which you came to this undeserving earth." Hinata's face burned red instantly as the perverted chef skipped towards her. "You perverted bastard." Sakura, now infuriated, kicked Sanji through a few buildings. A fair distance away, Frankie was knocked over by a kick from Rock Lee. "These flashy guys are really killing my mood. And I was feeling so super this week," Frankie complained. "His body is hard as steel, that last hit hurt my leg," Rock Lee said, shaking, holding his knee. "Lee. You can't let something as trivial as pain slow you on your path of eternal youth," Guy encouraged. "Watch as I end this in the next attack." In a flash he kicked the metal man 3 times, launching him into the air. With a powerful punch he knocked him back down into the ground. Frankie slowly rose from the ground, bloodied. Rocket launcher. Frankie fired 3 missiles at the green beast. They quickly dodged out of the way, leaving the rockets to destroy a few buildings. These guys are tricky. I need to step it up. Frankie said, getting back on his feet. Zoro watched as the tides were turning against his friends. This is looking bad. I'll have to end this in one technique. Santoryu. Zoro found it difficult to move. Sorry buddy, but you don't move no unless I say so. Shikamaru said smugly. Shadow binding jutsu. A stream of black tentacles began to cover Zoro's body. Shino prepared a stream of insects to attack Zoro. Do you think this can hold me? It's like a child tugging on my leg. Zoro said. He's right, it's hard to keep this jutsu up and he's not even trying to move yet. Shikamaru thought as he struggled to hold Zoro down. Just what are these guys? Guys. A voice yelled from afar. Everyone turned back to the ship to see a young boy on top of the Sunny. Luffy? The Straw Hats all said in unison. Naruto finally made it to a clearing revealing Konoha. Yes. Finally made it. Naruto said. He then realized he was atop the Hokage monument. What? How'd I get up here? Oh man, it looks like there's a really cool battle going on too. Naruto said as he examined the area. Naruto then noticed a hat on top of his father's head. Hey, what's this? He said, dropping down. What's going on? Who are all these guys with the weird clothes? Luffy asked, taking a look at the battlefield. You guys having a hard time? Who's that? He doesn't look very strong at all. Shikamaru said to himself. Again, you underestimate the enemy. Look in his hand. Shino said as he pointed. Upon closer inspection it was clear, Luffy held an unconscious Yamato in his hand. Yamato-sensei. Sakura said, recognizing the body. Oh yay, this guy was annoying. First he got me out of the thruster. Then he tried to attack me. I had to knock him unconscious. Luffy said as he tossed the body aside. Hit him too. A Jonin ordered. Soon a horde of ninjas were in the air approaching Luffy. They tossed their kunai in at the young pirate. Every single one missed. What? He didn't move. How did he dodge them? The same Jonin said, confused. Hey, watch it, you could have damage. My Luffy paused as he felt his head. Where is it? My hat. My treasure. Luffy freaked out. He began searching all around the wreckage like an ant scurrying around a tree. He eventually popped out of the ship and onto the battlefield. Hat. Tsunade said, studying the flag. Did you guys do something to my hat? Luffy angrily inquired. What hat? What are you talking about? Shikamaru asked. That's not important. Right now we have to stop these guys. Kakashi said, looking at the situation at hand. Right. The ninja began their assault again. Damn it. Frankie said in frustration as the ninja began to focus their attack on Luffy. If you guys don't know where it is, Luffy began as the world became silent. Then you're in the way. Luffy's eye dilated and suddenly a wave of power spread over the village. Almost the entire force of ninja dropped to the floor. Ten dropped instantly before she could even realize what was going on. What Hinata managed to choke out before she was knocked out. Lady Hinata, Uniji said as he too felt the effects of the force. He stayed conscious but couldn't move. This feeling, Sakura said as she was knocked out. Akamaru, what? Kiba said as Akamaru fell. He tried his hardest to stay up but eventually he too collapsed. What was that? Shikamaru said, trying to keep his composure. What's going on? Why is everyone? Chouji began. He managed to stay conscious but felt too weak to talk. Sensei, my youth. Rock Lee said as he was brought to his knees. He kept himself awake but couldn't fight against the force. Shino's bugs all scurried back into his clothes. I knew it. There was more to them than meets the eye. Shino said, body quivering. But power, even I can feel it. Guy said, amazed at the spectacle. What kind of jutsu could this possibly be? My Sharingan couldn't pick up anything. Kakashi said. Who is this man? Tsunade said, almost frightened at the display. In the end, only 3 ninja were completely unaffected. Kakashi, Haddock, Might Guy and Tsunade Senju. Damn it, Luffy, things were just getting exciting and you had to use your damn haki again. Zoro said, disappointed. Sorry, I only used a little bit though. I thought it'd just take out the weak guys. I guess they're all weak, huh? Luffy said, scratching the back of his head. The AI was trying to make it last before I took them all out. Luffy began laughing but then felt something missing on his head. Ah. My hat, where is my hat? Luffy said as he began running through the town. Now the battlefield was cold and empty and a feeling of both confusion and anticipation filled everyone's heart. Chapter 3. They finally meet. The 2 future kings. Where is it? Luffy rampaged through houses causing an uproar everywhere he went. He searched behind trees, ran through shops, climbed up trees, devastating everything in his path. Tell me where it is. People began running away in the streets trying to escape the madman. The invaders are terrifying. One said, trying to escape with his daughter. Luffy busted through the window of one of the houses and immediately stormed another one. He wound up on the rooftop and surprisingly took a moment to think. Where could it have gone? I couldn't have lost it in that freaky light. Luffy said to himself. He began searching each direction for some kind of sign. He then saw the Hokage residence. I haven't checked there yet. He said, determined to find his treasure. Ah, this may be my chance to do like he did. He then chuckled to himself. As he got ready. Back at the battlefield, the tension was thick in the air as each side waited for the other to move. Nami tried her best to get up, but her body was completely unresponsive. Nami. Chopper said as well, but he too found it difficult to move his electrocuted limbs. This fight is getting serious. More damage is being done to the city than to the enemy. All of our ninja are under some kind of genjutsu. I'd say our best bet is to warp them out of here. Kakashi said, preparing his Manjutsu Sharingan. Sanji walked out of the buildings he crashed through with a freshly lit cigarette. He was bloodied but didn't seem to pay attention to it. You can't pick a fight with us and then resort to cheap tricks when you're losing. If you want to save your village, defend it. Zoro agreed. Wait. Chopper screamed as loud as he could. He was in his brain point now. Everyone looked at him as he struggled to get back on his feet. This didn't need to happen. So many people are hurt now for nothing. We didn't come to start a fight. He cried. Tsunade looked at the wreck the city was in now and all the ninja who were bloodied and knocked out. We'll leave, but please let us heal our crew and fix our ship. Kakashi hesitated. Chopper. How can you call yourself a man of the sea if you bow to the enemy? Zoro reprimanded. But Chopper bent his head down. We didn't want to fight in the first place. Villagers began filling up the streets. Help save us from the madman. Some cried. Some of the staggered ninja began to collect themselves. Chopper ran as far as his charred legs could take him towards Nami. We can't take any chances, especially with that crazy man running through the streets. He's extremely dangerous. Tsunade said. No, he just wants his hat. It's a long story, but it means a lot to him. Luffy is a good guy. Usopp pleaded. How are we supposed to believe that story? Neji said, having completely come together. Explain that body that fell out of the ship. He demanded. As Neji said those words, Brook slowly rose from the ground. Now covered in dirt and debris, he truly looked like the undead rising from the ground. Ooh, oh, he groaned. Once again the villagers screamed in terror and began panicking through the streets. Zombie. It's not safe anywhere. I'd rather take the madman than a zombie. Brook took a look around him. Zombie? Where? He screamed. Did he slaughter all these people? Scary. He ran straight out the village entrance. Wait. Brook. Frankie said. But it was too late, he was gone. Did that skeleton just talk? Chaoji said, confused. Can things get any worse? Usopp said as he fell to the ground, completely negative. Chopper was trying to nurse Nami's wounds and did not notice anything else that was happening. Please Nami, don't die. Not like this. He said as he wrapped her wounds in a tourniquet. Tsunade walked up to the young doctor and placed her hands over his hoofs. Chopper looked at her bewildered. I'll take of it from here. Tell your friend his hat is on the monument straight ahead. She said with a smile. Her hands began glowing green and soon Nami's wounds began healing. How he started. I told you, we will take care of the wounded here. Right now you have to stop your friend. Chopper began crying but quickly wiped the tears away. He then changed into walk point and ran towards the monument. The rest of the crew all wondered the same thing, where to go from here. After a few minutes of thinking, Usopp and Robin began chasing after Chopper. Kakashi followed them. Tsunade ordered. When you see the boy, tell him to gather his crew and meet me in my office. Kakashi hesitated. He then hit his Sharingan. What was it about that creature? He asked as he walked past her. He just reminded me of someone. That's all. He then took off after them. Zoro yawned and sheathed his swords. He started walking back to the ship. Well, I guess it's over now, I'll be on the Sunny. What? Just like that? Chaoji said, still confused by the events that took place. Luffy put his hands on his knees and began stretching low. After 2 years there's no way I'll fail. He then ran towards the edge of the roof and took a leap of faith to the next building across. Without losing momentum he leapt to the next building. Feeling freer than he's ever been, he jumped from building to building. Ah, this is it. He said with tears in his eyes. The dream of every man to be as free as possible. Yahoo. At the height of his excitement, he was suddenly brought down by an unidentified flying ninja. He landed on top of the Hokage residence. Hey, who was that? He was being held down by a blonde-haired boy. So are you responsible for all the destruction? The boy asked. Get off of me. Luffy said as he gave the ninja a headbutt. The boy fell back and vanished in a puff of smoke. Huh? Luffy said, bewildered. He then looked up on top of the monument. Who are you? The same boy said, standing on top the fourth head. Luffy looked next to his leg. There it is. Give it back, you bastard. What? Don't ignore me. The boy replied angrily. He then looked down and noticed what he was talking about. This is what you want. This is what you've been destroying Konoha for. Naruto replied enraged. I just want my hat back. Luffy retorted. Well then you'll have to face Naruto Uzumaki. The Hidden Leaf's #1 ninja and future Hokage. The boy exclaimed as he brought his hands together. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Suddenly 3 clones appeared. The devil fruit. Luffy said to himself shocked. 2 of the clones jumped off the head and prepared to attack the young pirate. Luffy easily evaded the attack and punched out each clone. As they disappeared, Luffy noticed the other 2 were preparing an attack. It was a small blue sphere. Eat this, he said as he launched himself towards Luffy. Rasengan. You cat-faced bastard. Luffy said as he jumped towards Naruto, fist clenched. Right before they could collide, Kakashi appeared right between them. He grabbed each boy's arm and swung them around. He then tossed them away from each other and towards the railings of the roof. Naruto's Rasengan slammed into the roof, destroying a good portion of the building. Luffy fell over the railing and onto the ground. Sorry Naruto, you're a little too late. Kakashi said. Luffy was falling off the roof but was caught by a net or arms that sprouted from the building. The arms gently lowered Luffy down to where he was greeted by his crew. Luffy, you gotta calm down. Usopp said. We know where your hat is. It's on the monument. Chopper said, now more relaxed. Yeah, I know, and I'm going to get it and then I'm gonna kick that cat face and Cyclops ass. Luffy said. Wait Luffy, some things have happened. It may be best not to aggravate the people here anymore. Robin said. Just try to listen this time Luffy. After all, we need to find out where we are and how to get back to the sea. Usopp said. Luffy hesitated for a moment. I guess you're right. On the rooftop. Kakashi. What are you doing? I was gonna stop that guy. Naruto said. If you had followed us, instead of trying to show off, you would be up to date on what's going on. Let him get his hat, then we can get everything straight. Suddenly Luffy shot into the air. After a few flips he landed back on the roof. Okay, on the 4th head there. Luffy said as he wound up his arm. One more time. Gum. Kakashi wondered. Luffy's arm stretched over to a spike on the head of the statue. What? Naruto and Kakashi said in shock. Rocket? His arm carried him over to the top of the head like a line being reeled in. He picked up his hat, smiling harder than ever, finally reunited with his first great love. Yes. Never again. Luffy said, fitting the hat on his head snugly. Awesome. What of you? He said, finally taking a look at the Leaf Village. The air was rife with pollen and the season of birth. With the village quiet now, one could hear the rustling of the life in the trees. Birds seemed to ignore the commotion, sharing their song with the wind. The immense light in the center only made everything more vibrant and lush. The forest seemed to go on endlessly. Luffy then focused on the Sunny far off in the town center. Oh no. I almost forgot. Is the Sunny okay? And my crew? Luffy said as he jumped down. If you're worried about your crew, don't be, we'll take care of them. Kakashi said. Huh? Luffy replied, somewhat confused. I don't get it, Kakashi-sensei, what's going on? Naruto said, trying to wrap his mind around the events that just took place. I can't claim to know exactly how this fight started, but it's clear there's some kind of misunderstanding. If you round up your crew and follow me, we can meet with Lady Tsunade and clear this all up. Kakashi informed. He then walked to the staircase and left the 2 boys to figure out what just happened. What? They both staring at each other confused. Chapter 4. Settling down. Konoha? A curious Luffy asked, sitting atop a stack of books inside the somewhat small office of the Hokage. Yes. This is the village hidden in the leaves, Konohagakure. It's the capital of the Land of Fire. Tsunade explained. I'm surprised you haven't heard. Not to brag, but we have one of the largest military forces in the ninja world. An ninja? Luffy said with sparkles in his eyes. So cool. You mean actual ninjas, with shuriken and kunai? Chopper asked, also in admiration. Tsunade nodded. Luffy and Chopper freaked out. Hey, you know guys, before I decided to become a brave man of the sea, I was a great and feared shinobi of the shadows. Usopp lied, also excited at the prospect of the meeting ninjas. Wow, that's so awesome, Usopp. Chopper said. Then why did that Kuro guy kick your butt? Luffy inquired. Why you? I'll show you my ninjutsu. Usopp said, angered. He chased a cackling Luffy around the room. Robin sat reading a peculiar book. They soon got into a ninja battle. Watch this. Hiding in plain sight jutsu. Usopp said, putting his hands in a fake seal. He then quickly ducked behind a potted plant. Karate chop jutsu. Luffy slammed his hand against Usopp's head. No Luffy. That's not how you do it. You need to be sneaking and mysterious like this. Usopp instructed, moving in awkward stances. Chopper continued to cheer Usopp on. What is with these guys? They're such an abnormal team. Kakashi, who stood beside Lady Tsunade, thought. Why are they so stupid? Shizune, who was also present, pondered. Haha, these guys are so dumb. Naruto, who had also been present, was hysterical with laughter at the boys' antics. Tsunade was becoming annoyed. Suddenly Kurenai and Sakura barged in the room with an unconscious Angie. Sorry to interrupt Lady Tsunade, but we had to drag this guy away from the hospital. Kurenai said. When we brought the orange-haired girl in, he wouldn't leave her alone, it made it too difficult to heal her with his stupid swooning. Kurenai-sensei had to put him under a genjutsu just to stop him. Sakura said. You can lay him down over there. I'm already having trouble dealing with these idiots. Tsunade said. They laid Sanji against the left side wall. Has everyone been accounted for? Yes, the injured are now healing in the hospital. Kurenai replied. Excellent, Kurenai, you may go. Sakura, would you mind helping me with something? Tsunade said. I'm already on it. Sakura said. We're sorry. Luffy and Usopp said, faces swollen and bruised. For once it wasn't me. Naruto sighed. You'll get yours soon enough. Where were you during that fight, you dumbus? Sakura exclaimed. I can explain, Sakura-chan, Naruto receded. What country do you hail from? You don't seem to be wearing any headbands, so you don't seem to be affiliated with any nations. She inquired. Country? Luffy said, finally paying attention. We didn't come from any country, we came from the Grand Line. He replied. Grand Line? She inquired. Yea, we're pirates looking for the legendary treasure, the One Piece. Usopp said. One Piece? Kakashi asked. Yea, whoever finds it is gonna become king of the pirates. That's gonna be me, Monkey D. Luffy. The proud boy said. There's such a thing as king of the pirates? Sakura asked, somewhat disappointed with the world. He has the most freedom on the seas. Luffy said. What sea is the Grand Line? Kakashi asked. You mean you don't know? Usopp said. He pulled out a world map and placed it on the table. He opened it up, much to the shock of the ninja present. You see, the four oceans are divided by a mountain called the Red Line, and across that a sea known as the Grand Line where Gold Roger, Usopp began to explain. That can't be right, Tsunade said. What? Where did you get that map? It's not a world map, is it? Of course it is. Can't you see it shows everything? Usopp once again began to point. She reached in her drawer and pulled out another world map. This is what the world looks like, that map must be a fake. Sakura said, trying to reassure herself. No way. This map is 100% authentic. We've followed it all the way from the East Blue into the New World, which this country is in, right? Usopp said, becoming somewhat frightened. Tsunade shivered a little bit. Look, that map is a fake. Otherwise you're trying to tell me you come from a completely different world. Sakura said. That may be the case. Tsunade said. Shizune, summon Anko for me. Tsunade ordered. Yes, Lady Tsunade. Shizune said. Nami lay in the hospital. Eyes only open enough to see the blurry unfamiliar room. Her bed lied beside the window, where a large stream of light washed upon her face. The curtains beside her blocked out any other light the room had to offer. She rose to her waist and sat pondering what had just happened. She appeared to have been changed during her time knocked out, as she was wearing a green hospital gown over her bra and was given a pair of very unfashionable white shorts. Nami almost puked at the thought of some perverted stranger touching her body and then picking out these horrible clothes for her to wear. She pushed the curtain beside only to reveal a pair of eyes far away. She quickly pulled them back in fright. Her eyes still had trouble adjusting. She tried moving the curtains again. The blank eyes seemed to come closer to her. Eventually she made out a body and broke into a cold sweat. A pair of hands disappeared behind the figure and slowly began to come around, revealing some kind of object. Nami finally screamed and tossed her pillow at the figure. It backed away instantly into the corner. I am sorry. It said in a low voice. Nami's eyes were then able to focus completely. It was a young girl with wide eyes. I just wanted to give this to you to apologize. The girl said, revealing a wrapped box. Apologize for what? Nami said, unable to recognize the girl. I'm the reason you're in the hospital. She answered. Oh, you're the one who did that sneak attack. Well, you and the other guy. Nami finally remembered. Yes, Niji refused to come, but I felt guilty. I mean, if you guys really were just lost and we made it difficult for you. I'm sorry. She said. Nami got out of her bed and accepted the package from the young girl. She opened the box and pulled out a large purple kimono. It had a floral design and was very conservative. Nami sighed as she tried to put on the concealing garment. It was a bit loose on her, but otherwise completely covered the young girl. But the length and weight of the garment also had an air of age to it and made Nami feel a couple of years older, too much older for her liking. It was the best I could put together on such short notice. But I hope you like it. The young girl said, bowing her head. Sorry, it's not really my style. Nami honestly replied. A cloud appeared over the girl's head. But I'm sure my friend would like this a lot, it's very well made. Nami, heartened. I'm sorry I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Hinata Hyuga. The girl said, bowing once again. Hinata huh? Nami said, looking at the gloomy girl. Well, you did really do a number on me. She thought for a moment. Tell you what, if you really want to apologize, you can help me find something more to my taste. And maybe you can pick up something for yourself. Nami said with a smile. Hinata picked her head up and smiled. You want to know about the portal, right, Lord Hokage? Anko said, having entered the room. Yes. Tsunade replied. Well, since you called me, I'm sure you figured out it's one of Orochimaru's jutsu. Anko began. Orochimaru? What are you talking about? Luffy asked. The light you and your crew went through was a jutsu. It's a summoning, developed by a man called Orochimaru. Wow, I didn't know ninjas could do that. That's so awesome. Luffy said, excited. Ah wait, so we really have been transported to a whole new universe. That's right. I even remember the name of the technique. Summoning. Impure world dividing walls of the outer realm. Anko continued. So this Orochimaru guy summoned us here. But what does he want with us? Usopp asked. Well, actually, I doubt it was Orochimaru, and I also doubt whoever used it was trying to get to you guys. Anko replied. Unless of course you guys come from the land of the dead. Of course not. Usopp replied. Although in a way one of us, Chopper said, thinking of Brook. Where am I? Sanji said, waking up in a huff. Nami-san. Where are you? None of these shitty bastards hurt you, did they? Calm down, your friend is fine. Tsunade reassured him. Sanji then took a look at her. Oh my, the legends are true. There are women in the world who can achieve this level. He watches her marshmallows bounce just with her breathing. He then noticed everyone in the room. My sweet Robin Chuan. A mysteriously captivating woman in lingerie. A modest cutie-chan in the corner. A girl with a burning fist of passion. He said, feasting his eyes on the entrees in view. He then noticed Sakura. Even if she is lacking in other areas. He muttered to himself. What did he say? Sakura said, now enraged. This guy even more perverted than the pervy sage. Naruto said. He then had an idea. Hey curly brow. Check this out. Naruto said. He created a clone covered in smoke. What you said, you Sanji stopped. When it cleared, a beautiful naked woman awaited Sanji's line of sight. Sexy jutsu. Ah. Melarine. He said, blood dripping from his nose. Luffy completely lost himself with laughter. Okay, so we're in some other world then, right? Sanji said as he lit a cigarette. His face was covered in blisters and bruises. Yeah, and we got brought here by some kind of jutsu made by a weird guy called Orochimaru. Luffy said, also beaten and bloodied. Sorry Sakura-chan, but why so hard? Naruto said, bruised and missing some teeth. Hey. Why the hell did I get beat up? Usopp said with lumps on his face and a broken limp nose. Orochimaru had been trying to develop a technique to make a path straight into the next world, Anko began to explain, returning the serious mood of the discussion. He thought he'd truly be immortal if he could discover travel between the world of the living and dead. He based it of the second's impure world resurrection jutsu. Countless lives were sacrificed in experiments to create this technique, but it was never perfected, at least as far as I had seen. This Orochimaru guy sounds really sick. Chopper said with a chill down his spine. But I doubt it was him, since last I heard Sasuke Uchiha had slain Orochimaru before joining the Akatsuki. All the ninja in the room were taken slightly aback by the sound of that name. Naruto held an angered but stern look on his face. Now there's another guy, this is too much for my brain. Luffy sulked. It's been a while since that happened, and Sasuke has made his plans to destroy Konoha clear just like his sensei. Naruto's eyes had widened in anger. I wouldn't put it past him to have taken Orochimaru's research in an attempt to finish the jutsu himself. Naruto slammed his hands against the desk. That's bullshit. He said. The room grew silent for a moment. Chopper hid behind Usopp, protruding out to the side where everyone could still see him. Naruto, you can't, Kakashi began. I know. Sasuke is hell-bent on destroying Konoha. I even know why he wants to. Naruto began. So that's why I know he wouldn't resort to using Orochimaru's methods to fight us. He'd come by himself in his own way. The room was quiet for a moment. He'd be a fool to do that. Anko spoke out. Think about it. With an undead army, he'd be unstoppable against us. He was one of our most intelligent students, and he spent a great deal of time with Orochimaru. What do you even know about him? What he's been through? Naruto questioned, grinding his teeth. Not much. But I know firsthand what that psycho Orochimaru can do to people. Anko retorted. Naruto took a step back upon hearing this. He then turned to his teammates. Sakura, Kakashi, you guys were there, you know Sasuke wouldn't resort to that, right? Well, we should at least consider the possibility. We have no other leads. Sakura said. Naruto took a few steps back, surprised at the answer. Naruto, didn't you say you had your answer? You have to understand by now Sasuke is dangerous. Kakashi said. He then clenched his fist and ran out of the room. What's he getting so worked up about? Who is this Sasuke guy? Luffy asked. Kakashi sighed. He used to be a ninja student at the academy here and was a part of my squad. He was also Naruto's best friend. Kakashi explained. Some things happened and he defected to study with Orochimaru. You mean the massacre of the Uchiha clan? Robin spoke for the first time the whole conversation. But how did you? Kakashi asked, surprised. When we were walking here, I noticed a section of the village that seemed older and somewhat abandoned. I noticed a symbol on one of the houses there. Robin explained. When we got here, I saw a book in the library with the same symbol and decided to read a little bit. This clan seems to have a big history in with the village. The ninja felt tense. Oh, Robin-chan, you're so amazingly gifted with intelligence and beauty. Sanji said in awe. All this explaining and I still don't know what's going on. How do we get back to the Grand Line? Luffy said, frustrated. Do we just jump back through the hole? I'm sorry, it's not that easy. Like I said, the jutsu is not perfected. That light in the sky can only bring things into this world, it can't take things out. I can't say I know how to make it do the opposite. Anko explained. Then I suppose we get our answers by finding the Sasuke Uchiha. Robin suggested. That would be my best bet. Anko said. Can you take us to where he is? Usopp asked. No, and even if I could, I have things I need to attend to, Lord Hokage, if you would. Yes, you're dismissed. Tsunade said. With that, Anko left. Okay, so we just find this Sasuke Uchiha guy, bring him back here and have him fix the portal. Luffy said as he pounded his fist into his hand. He then ran out of the room. Wait. Tsunade tried to call after him. You don't even know where to look. It's okay, I'll help Luffy. I think what I've read will be of some use. Robin said as she left the room. Be careful if you go out seeking Sasuke. I'm sure you read about his clan's bloodline limit, the Sharingan. Tsunade said. He can use powerful eye jutsu. Be on your guard. Robin hand waved back as she left the room. Ah, jutsu. Lady Tsunade. Chopper said as he approached the desk. I've been meaning to ask you, that technique you used to heal my friend. Yes, what about it? She asked. Chopper then got on his knees. Please teach it to me. He begged. Tsunade took a moment. Why would a creature like you want to learn medical jutsu? It's a long story, but my dream is to be the best doctor in the world. I've found herbs, created drugs and used techniques the world over. Well, my world. He began. But I've never seen a technique that can heal people that fast or that completely. You have to show me, I beg of you. Well, in order to use jutsu you need to be able to form seals, and you don't even have hands. Tsunade said. Topper instantly changed to heavy point to the shock of everyone in the room. These hands will do, right? Tsunade could feel the aspiration radiating off the little reindeer. There she was, Lord Hokage of the most ancient and powerful nation in the ninja world, trying to reason with a transforming Tanu reindeer. She thought about it for a while, focusing on Chopper's eyes. Sakura. Yes, Lady Tsunade. Take him to the 12th training ground. You mean? I couldn't forgive myself if I held back someone's dream. She smiled. Chopper beamed and cheered. He transformed back into Brain Point. Sakura escorted him out of the office. So Lady Tsunade is it? Sanji said. Such a tender, delicate name from such a lovely woman who carries so much on her shoulders. I am Sanji, the best damn chef on the seas. Perhaps during my time here I could prepare a dinner for two under the majesty of the moonlit sky. Oh well, aren't you a gentleman? Tsunade said with a smile. If you want to help me. Sanji shined a perverted smile. You can. Sanji came in closer. I. Tsunade grabbed him by the tie. Sanji could barely contain his excitement. Getting the hell out of here. Tsunade said as she tossed him out the window. Maybe I should watch him. If he starts wandering around it could cause another situation in the village. Kakashi said. He jumped out of the fresh hole in the glass. Yeah, I guess I should be going too. Usopp stopped in his tracks. I almost forgot something. Tsunade gave a look of interest. Our crew member Brook. He was the skeleton that ran away. We need to get him back here if when we go back through the portal. I see, Tsunade said. Luffy ran out of the building in a hurry. Right, find the Sasuke guy. He said, running in place. He looked at the area around him, hoping Sasuke would pop up somewhere. Realizing this was fruitless, he ran out the gate of the academy. Sasuke. He yelled to anyone who'd listened. Oh right. She said he defected, right? Damn it, now how am I gonna get out of here? Luffy said, wondering where to go from there. Hey. A voice said. Luffy turned to see Naruto jumping off the academy building. I was listening in on the rest of the conversation. So you want to find Sasuke now, right? Naruto said. Yay. He replied. Ah, that's right, you were his best friend. So you can help me find him, right? Luffy said excitedly. You dumbass, if I could just find him like that he'd be here right now. Naruto said. I've tried to bring him back 1,000 times already, but he keeps getting away. Ah, that's right, I've been meaning to ask. Luffy remembered. If Sasuke left to go beat up some guy, why didn't you go with him? Are you weak or something? Of course not. It's more complicated than that. Naruto said, offended. It was a personal fight. He swore he'd do it on his own. I wouldn't have gotten involved, but he went to him for that power and I didn't want him to become his pawn. Ooh, that Orochimaru guy, huh, sounds like a real ass. Luffy said. Well, that's a word for him, he was definitely insane. Naruto said. So if you found Sasuke once, you can find him again. You can't give up on your friends. Luffy said. Of course I wouldn't. I've just decided to try another way. Naruto said. You're not making any sense. Luffy said, confused. But anyway, you got to help me. I don't know how to find this guy on my own. Luffy begged. Wait, so you really are gonna go after him? Even after hearing all that? Naruto said. I don't have any other choice, besides if he's your friend then you can probably talk him into helping me. Luffy said with an ignorant but confident smile. You don't know anything about him though, anything about this place. Naruto said. I don't care, me and my crew need to get back to the Grand Line, no matter what it takes I will become king of the pirates. Luffy said. Besides, I'm stronger than I look. If anyone gives me trouble I'll kick their ass with a gum pistol. Yeah, I've been meaning to ask. What kind of Kekkei Genkai is that makes you all rubbery? Naruto asked, pulling on Luffy's face. Hey, stop that. Luffy said as he stretched back. This isn't some kind of ninjutsu. I got this from eating the gum fruit. I'm a rubber man. Rubber man, your world sounds pretty cool. Naruto said. Yay, I've had a lot of adventures sailing with my crew. Luffy said. Naruto began to think. Listen. Last time me and Sasuke met, it wasn't on such good terms. But if you're going to go look for him anyway, then I pretty much have no choice but to go with you. Really? Luffy cheered. Yes. This is great. Suddenly a loud noise rumbled. Luffy held his stomach. Oh man, I just realized I haven't eaten a thing since I got here. Come with me, we can get some Ichiraku ramen and go over how we're going to find Sasuke. Naruto said. Excuse me, I hope you don't mind if I join this little expedition. Robin said, approaching the two boys. Yeah, Robin, you want to explore this world too? Luffy asked. Weren't you trying to get back home? Naruto said, a little confused. This world seems to have a lot of history to it. I suppose I can't help myself to want to learn it. Robin said. Well, that'll be fine. We're going to need a team to track Sasuke down anyway. Naruto said. Alright, let's go get some beef ramen. I'm starved. Luffy said. Naruto smiled in a way he hadn't in a while. It was genuine happiness, like how he felt when he first made his dream of becoming Hokage. What a weird guy. He muttered to himself as they walked under the mysterious light towards the Ichiraku ramen. Chapter 5. The journey begins. Facing the past with a renewed future. Things had finally begun to settle down in the village. The Anbu made an announcement that the pirate threat had been dealt with and that they were to be monitored throughout their stay in the village. The enormous light remained in the sky, still attracting attention despite the Anbu trying to keep people away from it. Stores reopened and the day returned to as normal as it possibly could. The Sunny was moved to right outside the town gate. He was damaged from the fall, but his keel was miraculously unscathed. His smile still radiated in the sun, a complete contrast to his condition. It was as if he knew how lucky he was. Zoro slept on the warmth of the deck. It was about the only thing not untouched in the fall. Frankie had just come out of the interior with a huge bottle of coal, looking tired. Well, he ain't hurt too bad, a couple of replaced beams here and there and he should be ready to set sail. Frankie said. This is quite an impressive vessel you have here. Yamato said, sitting on a small rock next to the ship. Yes, this is the Thousand Sunny, the super ship that'll sail the entire Grand Line. Frankie replied. He then took a large swig of cola. Yamato got up and walked to the ship. This must be some strong wood. He said, knocking on it. Any other kind of ship would be annihilated by that fall. Frankie had himself a nice belch. Well, you see. This is the ship with the will of 1,000 dreamers, built from wood from the treasure tree atom. It'll take more than that to stop this king of the seas. It must be a rare kind of tree. Yamato said, once again inspecting the ship. He then noticed the doors on the sides. What are these gates for? He asked. Ah, those are the Sunny soldier docking. Frankie said. Each channel holds one of my powerful creations. The white rocking horse one. The Brachio Tank 5. Or my favorite, Frankie said excited. He then released the fourth channel. The Black Rhino FRU. Frankie cheered his own inventions. Really, I have never seen anything like this. Yamato said, impressed by the machine. This technology, it seems very futuristic. Yes, well, you see, Frankie began his story. Stop right there, invaders. A high-pitched voice said. Not far off stood three children. If my grandfather was still running things, he wouldn't let ruthless invaders like you run freely in the village. The one in the center said. Konohamaru Sarutobi won't allow it. Then why did you run away when they first started fighting? The girl by his side asked. Shhhhhh. They don't need to know that. Konohamaru tried to shush her. They were a whole group that time, now there's only one of them here, if we work together we can take him out. I've been practicing some strong jutsu. Are you prepared to face your demise? Konohamaru said confidently, pointing towards Frankie. It's Wapole steel, the strongest metal ever discovered. I spent days working, Frankie continued explaining to Yamato. Hey, don't ignore me. Konohamaru yelled. That's it, Mogi, Yuden, let's take this bastard down. He then realized he was missing one of his friends. Yuden. Yuden stood with a sparkle in his eye at the motorcycle before him. He climbed atop the huge device after almost falling off in his attempt. He felt like a king once he landed in the seat. Yuden. Konohamaru yelled. Get out of that, you don't know what IT does. Mogi warned. Frankie then turned around to see someone tampering with his machine. Hey, don't touch that. Frankie said, enraged. Yuden pressed a button and the device burst with electricity. It shot straight forward in a chaotic mad dash. It spun uncontrollable and returned to its original position and finally burst into flames. Ah. Black Rhino. Frankie said, mortified at the fire. Yuden. The kid screamed. Yuden fell off the bike, scorched and confused. Yamato quickly rushed to the young boy's aid. You weirdo. What did your stupid machine do to Yuden? Konohamaru asked. He wrecked my Black Rhino. Frankie declared. You super punks. It seems a lot has happened while I've been gone. An effeminate-looking boy said, walking up to the damaged bike, witnessing what just took place. Huh? Oh, Sai. Yamato said, recognizing the youth. I suppose I should ask who this is. Sai said. That's Frankie, one of our new guests in the village. Frankie? That's an odd name for an odd creature. Sai said. Frankie missed the comment as he was still arguing with the children. Where have you been? Yamato asked. Lady Tsunade sent me off with a team to relay information to the Suna about the Akatsuki. Sai explained. Apparently following Uchiha Sasuke's attack at the Hokage summit, they've made their presence known. Right. Well, you missed the arrival of our strange invaders. Hey. You guys owe me a new bike and some repairs for my ship. Frankie said, holding Konohamaru. Put him down, you pervert icon. Mogi said, ineffectively hitting the cyborg. Unfortunately, I don't know if we have the materials to repair your machines here in Konoha. But as for your ship, Yamato said. He then clasped his hands together. Wood style. Nativity of the trees. Suddenly two large trees began to grow from the ground. In a few moments they were complete. Frankie was amazed by the jutsu. The commotion woke Zoro from his nap. The wood from these trees should be just as hard as what was used on your ship, if anything stronger. Yamato assured. The only problem for you now is how you're going to cut them down. What's all this now? You're interrupting my nap. Zoro said, looking over the banister. The children felt a chill just by his presence. Who's that? Mogi asked. Hey Zoro. You're just in time. Frankie said, tossing Konohamaru aside. A friend of his? Konohamaru said with a gulp. I didn't know there was another one here. I just got some wood here to fix the sunny. Think you can cut them up into some boards for me? Frankie asked. I'm a swordsman, not a carpenter. Zoro yelled. The kid shuddered at the sound of his demonic temper. But fine. Anything to get some sleep and get going. Yuden slowly came to. What's going on? Zoro then disappeared. The kids kept looking around trying to find him. They then saw him land right in front of the trees. Santoryu. In a flash he jumped, cutting the trees from side to side. The butsu cut. The trees began to split into large blocks. Zoro then faced the falling lumber from the other side. Santoryu Aogi. Ah. He's not finished. Mogi said, terrified. Crossing of 6 paths. Zoro once again disappeared, this time appearing on the opposite ends of the tree. Each block then split into 6 even cut sheets of wood. It all fell to the ground organized. Everyone stared mouth agape at the event. Only Frankie kept a casual look. Thanks Zoro. Yes, just don't bother me until we know how we're getting out of here. Konohamaru took another big gulp. That was so, he thought to himself, badass. Naruto, Luffy and Robin were enjoying a nice meal under the roof of the Ichiraku ramen shop. The warmth of the steam was relaxing on the recently tired bones of the fighters and the smell was just intoxicating. Naruto couldn't help but ask what the world of the Straw Hats was like. Luffy was more than happy to share the stories of what they had been through since the beginning of their incredible journey. Wow. Really? Naruto said in excitement. Yeah, it was as big as a mountain and blocked out the sky. Luffy said, trying his best to convey the size with his arms. I heard whales were big but to cover the sky. This Grand Line sounds like a really weird place. Naruto said. So what happened after the whale saw you? Did it eat you? Oh yay, but we got out of there in no time. Luffy assured. And that was only the beginning of our journey through the Grand Line. We've met giants, traveled through the desert, fought a god in the sky, and even battled against zombies. Luffy said. More please. But that was your 20th serving. The ramen guy said. If you guys really are pirates, I hope you have enough treasure to pay for this. Shishishishi. Luffy laughed as the man took his bowl away. Oh boy, if I hadn't been there I'd swear I was listening to one of Usopp stories. A familiar voice asked. Well, it looks like you've come to join us, Sanji-kun. Robin said. Sanji approached as well as Kakashi. Hey Sanji. You got to make this meat stuffed ramen sometime. It's got all the food groups. Beef, pork, chicken, lamb, meat, it's all here. Well, actually that's part of why I'm here. Sanji said, lighting a cigarette. The Cyclops here is trying to get me to work here at the ramen shop. He sighed. Really, Kakashi-sensei? Naruto asked. Well, he said he was a cook, so I felt it'd be better to keep him occupied cooking rather than harassing the Hokage. Kakashi explained. Harassing? You just want to keep me from my dream. So many beautiful fierce women in this village and I'm stopped by a man so shunned by women he has to hide his face. Sanji retorted. Hey, now don't get mad at me. Besides, you remember our agreement, don't you? Kakashi said suspiciously. Sanji then paused for a moment. How dare you stand in the way of my dream? A woman like this is only spoken of in legend. Calm down if you think she is legendary. I can show you a world where women like her are the common ones. Take a look at this. Ah. This book, can it be holier than even the Bible? This is only the first volume. I can get you the whole series as long as you listen to me. He then gave his most perverted look ever. He quickly refocused. Right. But that's the only reason. I'm even considering doing this. Sanji said. Luffy and Naruto looked confused. You wouldn't mind if he helped out around here, would you? I mean, just until they return to their world. Kakashi asked. I suppose an extra hand wouldn't hurt. I'm more concerned if the boy has the skills. The ramen guy said. His daughter Am giggled. What did you say? Sanji said with a fierce look in his eye. He walked into the shop and took a look at his new lab. In a few moments he was grabbing dough and heating water. He grabbed a knife and began slicing his freshly pressed dough. His hands moved so fast it was difficult to keep up with. Soon the noodles boiled in a pot with all kinds of vegetables, meats and spices. There was then a moment of silence as his creation simmered. Alright, you old geezer, try this. He said, handing the ramen guy a bowl. He hesitantly took the dish and took a taste. He dropped the bowl in shock. It would have been crushed into 1,000 pieces had Robin not caught it with a bloomed hand. She then put it atop the counter. This is. He then looked at all of his spices and began studying them. Am took the bowl and tasted it as well. Hey Sanji, I want to try some. Luffy said eagerly. 3 more bowls came out and Robin, Luffy and Naruto partook. In a moment everyone had the same look of both pleasure and astonishment. Delicious. They all said in unison. How long have you been making ramen? The ramen guy asked, desperate for the answer. To be honest, this is actually only my second shot at cooking ramen. Sanji said. Actually, it's the first time I'm making it for human consumption. Kakashi murmured, a bit bewildered at the comment, but no one else seemed to notice. You got lucky, you must have. I've been using these for years and never gotten a batch like this. The ramen guy said. What's your secret? What, no way. I'll help out the restaurant, but a chef doesn't just give up his recipes that easily. Sanji barked. Please, Sanji-san. You must tell us how you made this ramen. I don't think anyone in our many generations of ramen makers has made a batch this good. Am begged. It would mean so much to me and my father if you would help us. Am said. Without hesitation, Sanji bent down on one knee. What kind of monster would I be if I turned down a request from a young woman to help her father? Sanji said poetically. Just like that. Luffy, Naruto and Kakashi said at the same time. Robin giggled at the chivalrous gesture. Oh my, thank you. You're such a gentleman. Said Am, flattered at his newfound humbleness. You'll find there are few things I wouldn't do when asked by a lovely lady. Sanji said, rising to his feet, looking straight in her eye. Am blushed in embarrassment. Hey, you keep your hands off of her. I don't care how damn good your ramen is, she will remain pure. the ramen guy yelled. Everyone had a good laugh. Wow, you guys are all so weird and you're all a part of the same crew? Naruto asked. Yup. You can say we're a family. Luffy said. He then planted his face inside his bowl of ramen. Family, huh, Naruto said. He began thinking about his once lonely past and all he's been through since. Well, that's not surprising. From what I know, pirates often amass strongly bonded crews with dreams of finding treasure. Kakashi said. Treasure ain't the only thing on the seas to dream of. Sanji said, finally focusing on something other than women. Kakashi looked somewhat surprised. Well, I suppose we all have our own dreams we wish to fulfill. Robin said. Luffy finished stuffing his face with the ramen. Yay. But we're all sure we're gonna find our dreams on the Grand Line. It sounds real nice to explore the world like that, Naruto said. It's pretty awesome. Luffy said. So what's your dream? Naruto seemed somewhat surprised by the question. His expression changed into a lonely stare of a man on hard times. He first imagined himself in the Hokage gear, but then it got clouded with the image of Sasuke. Well, my dream is to become the Hokage, Naruto said without changing his expression. Hokage? Luffy wondered. In our world there are 5 great villages, each with a leader we call a Kage. We live in the village hidden in the Leave in the Fire Nation, thus our leader is the Hokage, Lady Tsunade. You mean that lady with a target on her head? Luffy said. Wait, you want to be a lady? No, of course not. Naruto yelled. I want to be the protector of this village one day, a ninja revered like no other. Well, that sounds pretty awesome. Luffy said. But there's something I have to do first before I can fulfill that dream. Naruto continued. I have to save a friend. Sasuke-cha? Robin asked. Naruto nodded. Yay. Why do you have to save him? I thought he left on his own. Luffy asked. Well, he did, but I don't think he knew what he was doing. You said he was your best friend, right? What separated you two, if you don't mind me asking? Robin said. It's kind of long. I don't want to bore you with the details. Naruto said. But he really wanted revenge for the death of his clan. So much so that he went to that freak Orochimaru for power to defeat him. What's worse was the guy who killed his clan was his own brother. Luffy, Robin and Sanji were surprised at the statement. I can't say I know why his brother did it, but it really changed him. I guess I wanted to save him from the loneliness he felt because I knew what it was like to have no one. Naruto said with a little anger in his voice. What am I saying? I do still want to save him. Naruto said with a fist in the sky, seemingly forgetting everyone around him. Even if I have to die to achieve that goal. Even if we have to fight, I'll remind him where he belongs, where he has a home. Everyone could only stare and admire Naruto's dedication. Luffy didn't seem to respond. Weren't we supposed to be discussing how we were going to find him? Robin said. Naruto instantly lost focus and broke into a cold sweat. AHH. That's right. I shouldn't be wasting time telling you my dumb story, you guys need to get. I get it. Luffy said in an unusually serious tone. Everyone's focus changed to him. If you can't protect one person, how can you call yourself a leader, right? Luffy said. Naruto was blown away. Only now did he realize what he sounded like when the words came from someone else's mouth. Yay. He said. Alright then, it's settled, we're gonna save Sasuke. Luffy said to the surprise of everyone. What? Naruto yelled. You don't have to do that, it's my dream and my burden, it's none of your concern. He explained. Just because it's your dream and your burden doesn't mean you have to bear it alone. Luffy said. He's my responsibility. No one is helping Sasuke but me. But that's what having a friend is all about, having someone who will fight for your dream too. Friends? Naruto said to himself. You said you'd help us anywhere, right? So that makes us friends. But we just met. All you need Sasuke for is to get back to your world, let's just make that happen. Naruto urged. Of course, there's nothing I want more than to get back to going on adventures. But I couldn't just leave knowing there's something in the way of your dream. Luffy said. We're not even sure if Sasuke will tell us anything yet. Well, we're not gonna save him or get back to our world by waiting here. But you have nothing to do with this world. Nothing to do with me. Why would you risk getting back to your dream for me at all? Because you're my friend. Luffy said with his famous smile. Suddenly it was as if all of Naruto's memories flooded through his mind. All of the fighting he did to protect his friends. His own words and the people he changed and befriended. All the pain he felt trying to rescue Sasuke time and time again. Even the last words he said to Sasuke came back to him. Then this one guy, who knew nothing about him, suddenly empathized so much with him, he'd fight for his dream and his happiness without question. Just the fact that someone like him could exist. It overwhelmed the young boy. No matter how much he tried to hold back, tears began falling down his face. Why, he managed to choke out. Hey, no need to be so dramatic. Our captain is like this, he doesn't need a reason to help a friend. And as far as he's concerned, just knowing your dream makes you guys lifelong friends. Sanji explained. A few moments of silence passed. Naruto couldn't contain it anymore. Naruto then broke out in hysterical tears, taking everyone aback. "Thank you so much." He blurted out. "Shushi." Luffy laughed. "No problem." Everyone smiled as Naruto continued to bawl his eyes out. He eventually began to calm down. With the mission changed, so was everyone's spirit. "Sorry to freak out like that," Naruto said, embarrassed. "Now we need to go over how we find Sasuke." "I think I'll join you on this trip," Kakashi said. "You're Kakashi-sensei," Naruto said. "But what about Curly Brow?" "What did you say?" Sanji said. "I'll ask Guy to look over him for me. After all, you're still a part of my team and I am responsible for you," Kakashi said. "Hey, don't treat me like a kid," Naruto said. After a laugh, he explained what he had done in the past to find Sasuke and where he'd most likely be. Chapter 6. Everyone sets off. "What do you mean you guys can't go with me?" Usopp screamed, outraged. "Sorry Usopp, but the Sunny is in need of repairs and my machines are gonna need some tech work too. Besides, you handled yourself super well today in the fight, I'm sure you can handle anything out there," Frankie said as he hammered in a replacement beam. Next to him was a pile of broken wood beams. "Don't just blow off the danger like that. There's so much I don't know about this world," Usopp whined. "If Luffy wasn't busy trying to find a way to get us out of here, I'm sure he would go with me to find Brook. Then again, knowing Luffy, he'd probably find some kind of crazy path and get us killed." "Oh, quit your whining Usopp, if you're that scared I'll go get Brook back. He couldn't have run off that far," Zoro said, now fully awake on the deck. He jumped down. "Oh yeah, Zoro, I knew you wouldn't let me," Usopp then thought for a moment. "Wait a minute, Brook is already lost and knowing Zoro's poor sense of direction, we'd just end up by looking for two people in a crazy ninja world." Actually never mind, I just remembered, Chopper was gonna go with me," Usopp said. "Fine. Suit yourself," Zoro said. "You know, if you need help finding your friend you may want to ask Kurenai and her squad to help you out. They're excellent trackers, I'd bet they can even find your zombie friend," Sai said. "He says that sentence like it's normal," Yamato thought. You think they'd help me? Thanks. What do they look like?" Usopp asked. "Kurenai is a middle-aged pregnant woman in a white and red shirt that probably won't be of much use to you right now," Sai began. "A little rude, don't you think?" Usopp said. "Tiba is the dog boy with a good nose. He's always walking around with his huge mutt called Akamaru, although I don't know why he calls him Akamaru when he's white. Then again, he's kind of stupid." "An idiot dog boy?" Usopp thought to himself. He imagined a slobbering half-man half-dog mutant and his idiotic-looking canine companion. Shino is the one in shades who covers his face with a hood. He lets bugs live inside him and feed off his chakra, and in return they kill his enemies. "Bugs feed kill," Usopp said, somewhat worried. He imagined a shadowy demon with large insects swarming around him. "I didn't need to know that," Usopp said, trying to burn the image out of his head. "Lastly, there's Hinata, one of the Hyuga born with the Byakugan. She'll be easy to recognize with her gothic aura and pale lifeless eyes that can see through just about anything." "Anything?" Usopp imagined a pale spirit looking through his soul. "These are the guys that are going to help me?" he said with tears in his eyes. "Yes, they are very good at what they do. By the way, I've been meaning to ask." That thing on your face, is that where some people in your world keep their Sai asked. "What kind of question is that?" "Of course not," Usopp replied. "I'm getting out of here. Better find these weirdos or else I'll be out there like a sitting duck," Usopp said to himself. "Idiot," Zoro said as he watched him walk away. He then noticed the frightened children hiding behind the broken wood beam pile staring at him. "What are you looking at?" he barked. They cowered again farther behind the pile. Konohamaru stared into his only eye and felt chills run down his spine. Suddenly, as if a drug kicked in, that chill turned into a burning. Konohamaru could feel his legs start to move on their own as he stared deeper into the swordsman's eye, as like he knew what it was saying. He then burst from behind the pile, against the wishes of his friends. "No, Konohamaru. He'll kill you for sure," Mogi said with tears in her eyes. Yuden continued to try and remain hidden. Konohamaru drew his kunai. "I don't care who you are. I will protect this village from outsiders. I hope you're ready to fight for your life," he said, shaking hysterically. Hey. Not around the Sunny," Frankie warned. Zoro just stared at him. "Are you lost or something, kid? Go play warrior somewhere else. Don't you dare brush me off like I'm nothing. I'm the man who will one day become Hokage like my grandfather before me," Konohamaru said, enraged. "Konohamaru, these guys aren't," Yamato began. "Shadow clone jutsu." In an instant 3 clones appeared beside him. They immediately began charging Zoro. With each punch and kick they were easily evaded. The real Konohamaru threw a smoke ball. Smoke began to cover his clones and Zoro. Now. The 4 clones grabbed Zoro and tried to hold him down. The real Konohamaru jumped into the air with kunai at the ready. Now I'll pierce his heart and end this quickly. He thought, assured of his plan. He began dropping towards Zoro, kunai straight ahead in an attempt to mortally wound Zoro. Toryu. Konohamaru looked surprised at what he saw next. Dragon Twister. The clones were scattered and disappeared. The smoke also cleared. Now there was only one Konohamaru in plain sight. Zoro grabbed his arm before the kunai could make impact. Why didn't you use your sword, samurai? Konohamaru asked. I trained as a swordsman for only 2 reasons: to serve my captain and defeat the greatest swordsman in the world. I honed my skills for that and that alone. I'm not going to waste time cutting down a brat with big talk. After all, you wouldn't crush a cockroach with a sledgehammer, would you? Zoro explained. Cockroach, huh? Soon the ground started to rumble underneath him. Zoro quickly took a step back and tossed Konohamaru aside when his clone burst from the ground with an uppercut. Ambitious little brat, aren't you? Zoro admired the attempt. The clone backflipped to his creator. The original stuck his palm out and the clone began swiping his hands around it. What this now? Zoro said, curious. You're a couple years too early to face me, kid, just give it up. Why don't you give up on me giving up? Konohamaru said in anger. Suddenly a blue light began to appear in his palm. If you think I'm such a cockroach, then let's see you take this attack. The bowl solidified and the boy charged forward as fast as he could. I am Konohamaru Sarutobi of the Leaf. He shouted. Rasengan. At the last minute Zoro pulled out one of his swords and challenged the attack. They clashed with a blinding spark. Zoro was surprised by the strength of the technique and was pushed back slightly. Konohamaru pushed with all his might, hoping it would finally make contact. Unfortunately, he pushed himself too hard and the ball was becoming difficult to keep stable. Zoro saw this as his chance. He grabbed his blade with 2 hands and with a firm swing sent the boy flying as the attack dissipated. He fell into one of the stumps of the cut-down trees. He rubbed his head in pain and a bump soon formed. Damn it. He said in frustration. He then looked up and saw everyone's face of shock and worry. He then saw his adversary's unchanging death glare. He began to tear up but tried desperately to suck them in. Konohamaru. That was your name, right? Zoro finally said. Yeah, that's right, you bastard. Are you gonna finish me off now or what? Stomp on the cockroach. Konohamaru asked, frustrated with his loss. Konohamaru, Mogi said. Zoro then walked menacingly up to the young child. Konohamaru then stood up with arms extended. What are you doing? Zoro asked, surprised by his actions. Only a coward runs away. I may have lost, but I'll lose with every ounce of my pride. Konohamaru said. Just know that there's no way this village will fall to anyone, especially one-eyed samurai freaks like you. Frankie began to tear up. Such pride for his village. What an amazing little scrapper. He cried. Zoro tried desperately to hold his expression, but after a while he couldn't help but burst into laughter. Ha. He continued to laugh, much to the chagrin of his defeated foe. Tears appeared in his eyes, he couldn't contain it. Soon Yamato and even Sai joined in. What's so funny? Konohamaru yelled with the full extent of his anger. Everyone finally began to calm down from their laughter. Konohamaru Sarutobi, I won't forget it. Zoro said, slapping the boy on the back of the head. Ouch. You big jerk. Konohamaru said. Start taking me seriously, you bastard. Konohamaru said. Trust me. I will from now on. Zoro said to his surprised. You made me draw my sword after I had talked you down, and even with your loss you faced me like a man. Not many kids your age would have guts to do that. Or men for that matter. Zoro said. He then began walking back to the ship. I'll spare your life this time, as long as you promise me one thing. Don't ever lose that spirit. It's what separates men from boys. Zoro said. Konohamaru only stared in amazement at what transpired. He couldn't describe the feeling that raced across his body. Just who are you anyway? He finally asked. Zoro stopped. My name is Rarano Zoro. He said, facing the boy. Konohamaru quickly wiped the tears in his eyes, bore a smile of confidence. This reminds me of a song. Frankie said, pulling a guitar out of nowhere. To be a man is not to own everything or have power. What makes a man is his heart and ambition. Ow. Oh boy, I hope Usopp finds Brook soon. Zoro said as he lay beside the ship. Don't mock my passion. Frankie retorted. How does this one look? Nami asked, sporting a skimpy schoolgirl outfit. A plain white top barely covered her green bra. A minuscule blue skirt went no lower than her thighs. It looks wonderful. Hinata said. What about this? Nami asked, now in an exotic kunoichi outfit. A leather indigo miniskirt rested atop the lingerie stockings across her legs. An indigo leather strap zigzagged across her midsection, cover her lingerie top, which made a poor attempt to conceal her breast. It looks great as well. Hinata once again complimented. No, no. If you say they all look good, how am I supposed to know which one looks bad? Nami said. But can't they all look good? Hinata questioned. You can never be sure of that. Nami assured. I'm sorry. Hinata said, quickly lowering her head. Hey, I'm not mad, no need to apologize. Nami said, bewildered at her actions. Boy, you really have some self-esteem issues. I think we should try getting you something to boost your spirits first. Oh, I'm okay, I like the clothes I'm wearing now. Hinata said. Come on, every girl has to have something in her wardrobe that shows off what she has. The cuter you are, the easier it is to get what you want. Nami explained. Hinata pondered. But I don't need too much. She eventually said. Come on, there has to be something you want. Nami said. Hinata then blushed and once again dropped her head. She began twiddling her fingers. Something. Nami hummed with a deviously curious smile. Or maybe someone. Hinata gasped, shocked at the statement, and took a few steps back. Ah, I see you have some boy on your mind. You're really easy to read, you know. Nami said. Well, Hinata unintentionally confessed. Then we definitely need to get you a new wardrobe. Nami said, excited. So what's his name? Hinata hesitated. Is it that guy with the long hair? What did you say his name was? Niji? Nami said. No. Oh no, he's my cousin, I would never. Hinata quickly explained. Naruto, his name is Naruto Uzumaki. Hinata feeling happier somehow just by saying the words. Naruto. Funny, that name kinda reminds me of a friend of mine. So who is that? It must be that guy who wears shades. The bugs are a little creepy, don't you think? No, not him. Hinata said. I'm gonna need more than this. Give me as much as you can stuff in this bag. A voice said not too far away. Luffy, it's going to be difficult to travel carrying all that meat. A woman said. Nami and Hinata could then see Luffy, Naruto, Robin and Kakashi at the barback shop. Luffy was desperately shoving meat in his pocket while Kakashi was trying to move things along. Don't hog it all. Naruto said, reaching for a bone and cut. Sir, we can't give you all of that, we'll run out. The BBQ man said, trying to save his precious cuts. Oh come on. Luffy said, upset. Don't worry Luffy, I got this. Naruto said. He then performed his sexy jutsu. What if we can pay it all off somehow, huh big boy? He said in his sexiest voice. They were both then hit over the head by Kakashi. Hey, what gives Kakashi-sensei? Naruto angrily replied with a lump on his head, reverting back to his male form. Yeah, we're going to need all we can get if we're going on a long trip. Luffy said. We're wasting time. We need to get more than just food. Kakashi asked. Looks like Luffy has made some new friends already. Not surprisingly, they're idiots. Nami sighed at the sight of the fools. Hinata then began blushing harder. Nami noticed and was surprised. No way. Nami said to Hinata. That kid is Naruto. Hinata hesitated a little, then nodded. Is he really the one you like? Hinata didn't move. What do you see in him? Nami asked. It's hard to explain, but he inspires me. Hinata began. It may not seem so now, but he was once hated by everyone in the village and all he wanted was to be acknowledged. I felt so bad for him, but I was too scared to say anything to him. She started to get somewhat emotional. He fought so hard and trained to be respected by everyone, where I was so weak I couldn't even get the respect of my father. He has fought hard to protect the friends he's finally made and the village he loves. I just wanted to be able to be that brave and strong. So he's more than meets the eye, huh? Nami said. Guys like that are always something else. She said, thinking of her own determined captain. Well, what have you tried so far? He saved the entire village once. Hinata continued as if nothing was said. Nami was taken aback. The powerful man came. He destroyed almost everything until Naruto came around. He fought for so long against him and even after his hard struggle, was almost defeated. He was all alone. I couldn't stand to see him fighting out there alone, so I went to help him and I almost died. Nami looked really shocked that the same dreary girl she had been around all day was telling such a personal story. There. It was there I told him everything about how I felt. If that's the case then, there's no way you guys can't be together yet. Nami said. Well, I haven't talked to him since. He has a lot on his plate, I don't want to frustrate him further, plus it was a spur of a moment thing. I'm sure he wouldn't want to waste his time with me. Hinata quickly explained, suddenly embarrassed and in a huff. Well then, how do you expect to get anywhere with him? Nami said. I'm sure after something like that he'd be a fool to not want you. Hinata dropped her head lower than she ever had before, not knowing what to do. Besides, I don't know what I'd do if he did. Look, I'll be honest, I don't understand why you do things the way you do, but I can tell you'd be a wonderful girlfriend for him. Nami assured. Hinata looked surprised by the comment and smiled a little. "Thank you, Nami-kun." "Hey Hinata." A voice suddenly rang. Hinata turned around to see Naruto and his new crew in front of her. "Hey Nami. You're all better. Hey, those are some cool ninja clothes." Luffy said, glad to see his friend alright. "Hinata, it's good you're here actually, I really wanted to talk to you about," Naruto began. "I'm sorry Butrila must begin Juskusim." Hinata said as she bolted out of the shop. Everyone looked bewildered at what just happened. "Is she okay?" Robin asked. "She's fine. She was just helping me find some clothes and just remembered she had something very important to do back home." Nami answered. "It's okay, you don't have to lie, I guess I'll just have to talk to her later." Naruto said, chuckling to himself. "Oh so what are you guys doing here anyway?" "She told me this is some ninja village, but that's about it." Nami said. "Yeah, it turns out we got transported to an entirely different world by that light." Robin explained. "The Grand Line doesn't exist here." "What? Oh great, this is all your fault, Luffy." Nami yelled as she shook her captain. But Lady Target Head said there's a guy somewhere out there who can help us get back and Naruto and Cyclops here are gonna help us find him. Luffy managed to say as he rocked back and forth. "I have two eyes, you know," Kakashi said. "So that explains getting the meat, but why are you guys here?" Nami asked. "Kakashi-kun thought it'd be best if we blended in with the people here, which it appears you've already done." Robin said, marveling at her outfit. "Hey, you wanna go with us, Nami?" Luffy asked. "No thanks. The people in this village are strange enough, I don't want to see what kind of things are outside it," Nami said as she walked by the group. "Hey lady. Are you gonna pay for that or what?" the shopkeeper said with an impatient look in his eye. Hold on. My friend is holding my wallet, she just ran out, I'll go get her." Nami said as she made a run for it. "Hey, come back here," the man said, yelled. "Man, you guys are weird," Naruto said. Robin noticed Nami left a box on the floor as she made a mad dash out. "What's this?" She opened it. "So you really think this ant place will have what I'm looking for?" Frankie said, packing his tools away. "Yes, if there is any place I know that has technology with automatons, it's Sunagaker," Yamato said. "But I doubt they'd come here to help fix your machines." Sai said. "Right now every nation is trying to focus on the defense of their borders. Especially with the disaster at the Hokage Summit meeting and what happened to Danzo, no one wants to risk being involved with Konoha. And the whole deal with you being unknowns here wouldn't help either. So they're scared to come here, huh? That sucks." Frankie said. "Well, if they won't come here, why don't we go there?" Zoro said. He finally got up and out of his nap. "Are you crazy? I can't leave the Sunny unattended," Frankie said. "I'll watch it, don't worry, no one's gonna do anything to it," Zoro said. "Well, even then I don't want the Sunny to just be sitting out here where anyone can do what they want with it," Frankie said. "Relax. I don't mind protecting your ship," Yamato said. "Wood style. 4-pillar prison." Suddenly immense pillars broke through the earth and surrounded the Sunny. "Whoa, what is that?" Frankie said, amazed. "This cage is designed to hold even the strongest shinobi. No one gets in, no one gets out," Yamato explained. "It should keep your ship safe until you return." "Why should we trust you guys? The first thing you did was attack us," Zoro said, still not completely trusting the ninja. "If the Hokage says you guys are alright, then I trust her. Plus from what I've seen, you are good people, if not a bit odd. I'll find a better location to keep your ship." "Ow. Thanks, Yamato-san," Frankie said, giving thumbs up. "Now it's time to collect some super parts." "Well, have fun then, I'm gonna go get some booze," Zoro said. "Hey, if you're not doing anything here, you should come along, Zoro. I may need more hands to carry all the parts," Frankie suggested. "Don't you have 4?" Zoro said. "I think I've had my fair share of the desert already." "How do you plan on getting there? Do you know the way?" Sai asked. Hadn't thought of that," Frankie said. "But you said you were there, right? Why don't you show me the way?" "I don't know, I just got back and the roads have seen an increasing number of dangerous ninja," Sai said. Zoro's ears perked up. "Our team had some trouble just getting back here, there are some powerful ninjas sprouting up nowadays." "Powerful warriors, did you say?" "Yes, I've noticed a particular increase in swordsmen." Zoro turned around. "Alright, maybe I will join this little trip of yours." "Now that's the spirit," Frankie cheered. Upon hearing this, Konohamaru stopped messing with the ruins of the bike. "Well, I suppose I would feel a bit better about taking you there if we had a team, and with you and the man demon that would be 3, so we need to make sure we have at least 1 medical ninja." "Wait, I want to go with you guys," Konohamaru said. "Oh, you're still here?" Zoro said. "That trip would be too dangerous for you, Konohamaru, you have no idea what's on those roads," Yamato reprimanded. "Oh come on, I'm gonna be tuning soon anyway. I'm gonna have to get used to going on missions like this. Konohamaru argued. And plus, I want to see what these invaders can do. If I'm ever going to beat you, I'm gonna need to see what you can really do. Konohamaru said looking straight at Zoro. Forget it, if you come I won't be able to fight to my fullest sign. I'll be protecting you all day. Zoro said. Don't underestimate me just cause you won. I can handle myself. I'll tell you what, if you really want to make yourself useful, go pick me up some booze. Gonna need it for the trip. Why you? Konohamaru, maybe we should listen to Yamato-sensei. Mogi suggested. I mean, we're in more dangerous times than ever and I'm sure you want to be alive to become a chunin. What, you don't trust me either, Mogi? Konohamaru said, appalled with his friend. She couldn't look him in the eye. Fine, whatever, I don't even care that much anyway. Konohamaru said. He then ran off. Wait. His two friends said as they chased him. Hey, don't forget my booze, you little brat. Zoro said. Well then I guess you said we need to find a medic, right? Frankie said. Excuse me. A voice said. The four men looked up to see a young girl. Oh Sakura, what are you doing here? Sai said, recognizing her. Oh, I just happened to be around and I overheard you guys need a medical ninja for your trip. Sakura said. Well yes. Sai said. You know, I wouldn't mind going with you guys. She said with a shy smile. Wait a minute. Weren't you tending to the wounded from the fight? Yamato asked. Oh yeah, those people are all alright. She said, starting to get a little tense. Plus after the fight I feel a little pumped for some action. Doesn't seem like you, Sakura. Sai said. Yeah, well, you know what they say about girls, we can never make up our minds on what we want. She said, getting a little frustrated. So can I go with you or not? They all thought for a minute. What are you guys thinking about? You said we needed a medic and we got one, so let's get this show on the road. Zoro rushed everyone. Ahaha, yes. Sakura cheered. I mean, I'm happy to help, cha. When was the last time Sakura said cha? Yamato thought as he couldn't help but ponder the strange feeling he had. So this is the light you were talking about? A tall man said. He had a toothpick and olive stuck to his face. Yes, Vice Admiral Virgo. We were in pursuit of the Strawats when this light appeared and they disappeared through it. Tashigi replied. They were among the 6 ships that now docked in the Gulf where the mysterious light had first appeared. It was much clearer now, making it obvious they were in a mountainous terrain. Smoker was sitting on deck, still soaked after his fall in the water. Do we have any kind of idea what this light is and where it came from? Virgo asked. No, so far none of us are sure. We contacted G11, which is nearby and knows the area well, but they say they've never heard of or experienced anything like this. Tashigi answered. Some of us even think the Strawats have found some new ability to transport. Run it by me again as to why we're wasting time sitting around here when the portal is still in front of us. Smoker said. I don't know why they called you in here, Virgo, but my men and I have this covered. I'm sorry, Smoker-san. I'm just following procedure, and if I'm not mistaken these were my men far before they were yours. Virgo replied. I don't mean to question your judgment, but it is still my responsibility to watch over all of the G5 units. How do we know it didn't just incinerate the Strawats? We thought about that and searched for bodies or some burned wood, but we came up with nothing. They appear to have truly vanished, with the only trace being this light. Virgo pondered for a moment. He began scratching the spot where the toothpick was. You said you already contacted G11, right? Yes, Virgo-san. Tashigi said. And you mentioned Straw Hat was involved. Tashigi nodded. Then your orders are to wait here for the arrival of the G11 unit. The fleet commander had just recently come there for a conference concerning the missing children, rumors that have been spreading around. He'll definitely want to take a look at this. Virgo said. A wave of terror spread among the Marines on board. Fleet Admiral Akainu. Tashigi said with a chill down her spine. What? Smoker immediately shouted. I'm already tolerating your presence here, Virgo. If you expect me to let that psycho you call Fleet Admiral to come in and complicate this hunt, you got another thing coming. I'm sorry, Smoker-san, but this can be much more dangerous than you know. If pirates are finding ways like this to escape the Marines, we'll be in a lot of trouble on the seas. It's for the best that the higher-ups get to the bottom of this while we can continue our duty to protect these seas. I hope you understand. He said, scratching harder than ever. Vice Admiral Virgo, a Marine said. Were you drinking a martini before you got here? Why yes I was. But how did you know? You're scratching an olive toothpick stuck to your face. Virgo finally plucked off the stick. Ah, there it is. I would have figured I would have gotten it off when I shaved today. He pondered as he ate the olive. But it doesn't look like you shaved either. The same Marine said. Alright, I didn't shave. He replied deadpan. At any rate, we can spend the time until the fleet admiral gets here by preparing ourselves for whatever decision he makes. He said as he walked inside. Are we really going to let that dumbass take over here? Smoker said. Remember Smoker-san, he is the leader of G5. I know you don't trust him, but he is a good man, I know. Toshigi said as she walked up to him. Even if that crap were true, now it's not him I'm worried about. Smoker said, thinking of the inevitable interference from Akainu. Meanwhile inside the main room. Joker. Virgo said through a transponder snail. What is it, Virgo? I hope you have good news. A voice replied. It appears the Straw Hats have really returned and they are already in the new world. Virgo said. Ah, so the crazy Straw Hat kid managed to survive this long on the Grand Line. I hope that's not all you have to tell me, otherwise you've wasted my time. Well, it appears that he may have discovered some new way of travel. It's created a portal here which they used to escape my unit. Fufu, now that sounds more interesting. Do we have any details on this ability? But right now, no, and the Fleet Admiral himself is coming soon to investigate it. White Hunter is also giving me problems. Well then, it's of none of my interest until we know it's something we can use. If you want to look into it, then by all means do what you think is best. As for the Magma Blower and White Hunter, don't interfere with either one of them for now. At best Akainu will find and kill the Straw Hats, leaving you and your team to recover whatever information they have on the portal. White Hunter is a wild card, but he won't be a threat to you and is not worth killing. Affirmative, Joker. Remember, your image as Vice Admiral is your greatest asset to me right now. If you lose that, then I'm afraid our entire operation may fall, and someone will have to be punished, won't they? Yes, Joker. Gotcha. The transponder snail clicked off. Okay, I think I'm far enough now. Nami panted inside a pot. She noticed some people staring at her and hopped out immediately. I didn't see Hinata anywhere. If I don't find her, I'm gonna be spending the rest of my time here running from that shop owner. Nami thought to herself. Hinata. She called as she began searching her surroundings. She was by the academy now. Hina, oh. She finally found the girl alone on a swing. There you are. I got into a lot of trouble because you ran off like that. Nami said, somewhat frustrated. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just didn't know what else to do and I didn't want to faint, Hinata said. Hey, it's alright, as a pirate you get used to running from people. Nami said. She took a seat on the swing beside her. So you guys are actually pirates? Hinata said with a glimmer in her eye. Yay, we've been on a pretty crazy journey and seen some amazing things. Now that I think about it, it doesn't surprise me something like this could have happened to us. Nami said. You know, it may sound weird, but when I was much younger, I actually had dreams of going off to a faraway place. Hinata said. It would always start with me drifting away on this small boat until I suddenly sprouted wings. Then I'd land on this faraway island where I could be as free as I wanted to be and do whatever I wanted. You mean you don't want to be a ninja? It sounds so cool though. Nami said. Well, I enjoy being able to help and protect people, but a lot is expected of me since I'm of the main branch in my clan. I'm expected to be the strongest of my people and I want to get stronger. But sometimes, I think I would like to settle somewhere and live like normal people do with a family. Hinata said. I hope that didn't come off as weird or showy. Nami looked puzzled for a moment and then started to laugh. It's not weird at all. You know, you can always be free. You just have to let open the door for yourself. Nami said. My captain taught me that. He can be a real moron at times, but I always know there won't ever be a dull moment with him around. You're right. I guess sometimes I do feel imprisoned by my own fears. I wish I could be as free as you. Hinata said. She immediately covered her mouth. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for that to sound weird. Geez, there's no helping you, is there? Nami sighed. She then chuckled to herself a bit, remembering her own past of being a slave and withheld from her dreams. You didn't seem to have fear when you helped that Naruto guy. Nami said. Hinata gasped and thought for a moment. Nami got off the swing. Come on. Nami said. Where are we going? Hinata said as she too got off the swing. We're going to make sure that when Naruto gets back, you'll be ready to stand right beside him. So you don't have to be imprisoned by your fear ever again. Nami said with a smile. Nami. A voice called. Oh, is that you, Usopp? Nami said, recognizing the unmistakable nose. Yay. It looks like your wounds are all healed already. That's good. Usopp said. What are you doing here? Nami asked. I figured you would be with Luffy by now. Well, Brook hasn't come back to the village, so I decided to bravely go out and search for him. Usopp explained. But the only problem is everyone else is doing their own thing, so I'd be going alone, not that I couldn't handle myself, of course. It's just always better to travel in a group. Well, forget about it, I already told Luffy I wasn't going out there. Nami said. Oh no, I wasn't looking for you, a guy told me I could find a team that would help me track Brook down. He said. There's a bug guy, a dog guy and a spirit girl, and they've been a lot harder to find than you'd think. He paused for a moment. Why does it feel like someone's looking at my soul? He then noticed Hinata's eyes. Ah. Spirit girl. He exclaimed. Spirit girl, Hinata said, hanging her head. Hey, don't be rude. This is Hinata and she's not looking at your soul. Nami said. My apologies, but I was told you could help me find my friend the skeleton that ran away. Usopp said. Skeleton running away? Hinata said, confused. It's a long story, but yes, he's nothing but bones. Nami said. Well, I'd love to help, but my Byakugan isn't much good for locating dead bodies. Hinata said, somewhat disgusted in the sentence. Besides, she's busy right now. Nami said. You'll have to find someone else, Usopp. What? But Usopp was unfortunately cut off. Let's go, Hinata. Nami said. Okay, Nami-kun. Hinata said, being dragged off. Why does everything always get left up to me? Usopp, alone, screamed out of frustration. White. Road, this is awesome. Alright. Now this is awesome. Luffy said as he emerged from the shop with a completely new outfit. He wore a tight red shirt that covered from his entire midsection all the way to a mask that covered his mouth. He had metal bands on his wrists. He changed his usual blue shorts to loose ninja pants. They were such a dark blue they were practically black. Finally, his famous straw hat wore a Konoha ninja headband. Bro, I'm even cooler than Cold Rotor. Now I'm even cooler than Gold Roger. I'm the first pirate ninja. I'm the first pirate ninja. Luffy said with stars in his eyes. I'm Cropane of the Straw Heart Shinobi. I'm captain of the Straw Hat Shinobi. Who said you could be the captain of this team? Naruto said, enraged. I'm the one who's gonna take us to Sasuke. I must say this suits me very well. Robin said, emerging with the same purple kimono Hinata had made with a pink sash. On her waist was her Konoha headband. It fit much better on her than Nami. Hey, awesome Robin. Rieri said. Hey, awesome Robin. Now we're really set. Luffy said. Alright, if we're all set, then let's head out. Kakashi said. Right. Naruto said as he strapped up his backpack. Everyone got their gear set up. They walked down Main Street towards the main gate. The light was still shining bright in the sky. There were police lines around the area directly beneath it. As they walked past it, the four warriors' auras seemed to shoot out in a blaze. They eventually reached the main gate where Frankie, Zoro, Sakura, and Sai and Yamato were. They were also packing gear. Luffy mumbled some more words much to everyone's confusion. Luffy, it's hard to understand you with the mask. Plus it looks stupid. Zoro said. He now wore a headband around his arm, opposing his bandana. Luffy then took it off. Man, it's really hard to talk with this thing on. How do you do it? Practice. Kakashi answered. Is that really how it works? Robin asked. I said, are you guys going on an adventure too? Luffy said, going over the unimportant question. Yay. The Sunny's channels need some super repairs. We're going to the next town over to get some supplies. Frankie said, now wearing a headband around his neck. Cool. We're gonna find a way to get back to the Grand Line. Luffy said. Hey Sakura, weren't you helping that Tanuki? Naruto asked. No Naruto, I have no idea what you are talking about. Sakura said, scratching the back of her head suspiciously. Something is obviously wrong here. Kakashi thought. Well, I'm sure Yamato has picked up on it already. I have my own concerns. Make sure the Sunny is in great condition. Luffy said as he and his friends embarked. You got it, Captain. Frankie said with thumbs up. They finally set out the main gate, unsure of what lied ahead. Little did they know that this expedition was only the first step into a series of events that would change both the ninja world and the pirate world. Everyone pay attention. It appears we have the unexpected arrival of some interesting characters. The masked man said in a shadowy cave. He was accompanied by 8 figures. These newcomers are responsible for a certain change of plans, but rest assured the Eye of the Moon plan has and always will be our ultimate goal. He continued. We already have 6 of the 9 beasts, and the 8 and 9 tails have finally been separated. Thanks to the events of the Hokage Summit meeting, the 5 nations are at an all-time severance as well. Once we acquire the 8 tails, there will be little to stop us from getting the 1 and 9 and completing our goal. Zetsu will continue to monitor these newcomers and how they will affect the 9 tails' actions. Until then, prepare yourself, for the time for us to truly rise from the shadows is almost upon us. As he made his announcement, behind him stood one more figure, this one much younger than the rest. Behind him a massive purple emanation hovered with menacing red eyes surrounded by black flames. The boy himself watched over the meeting with eyes that told nothing short of a story of hatred. Chapter 7. New friendships are forged. The bond beyond worlds. So you sure these Akatsuki guys are gonna lead us to Sasuke? Luffy asked. Yeah, they're watching over him now, and they're becoming more and more active. Naruto replied. If we head to the village hidden in the clouds, then I'm sure we'll find them or Sasuke himself. Naruto said. We should go through the path through the village hidden in the sound. It's the most direct route between Konoha and Kumo. I hope it won't be too difficult for you to go through there again, Naruto. Kakashi said. Nah, Orochimaru is old news. I'm only focused on stopping Akatsuki, saving Sasuke, and helping Luffy get his crew home. Naruto said. I've been meaning to ask. Robin said. I know you said Akatsuki is after these tailed beasts inside you demon holders, but what do they hope to do with them? Even I'm unsure of their final goal, but it seems they want political power for the most part. Kakashi answered. They believe having control of such powerful weapons as the tailed beast would cause the 5 nations will go to them in times of war and crisis. When I beat Nagato, he said it was the answer to peace. Naruto added. That's pretty stupid. Luffy said. I still regret letting him get away. If we run into him, let me handle him, okay? Naruto said. No problem. I still think it's pretty cool you have a monster living inside you though. You must kick so much ass. Luffy said. Yay, you know, for a while he caused me a lot of problems. But I think we've gotten closer. He's really not just a demon, Naruto said. Luffy began knocking on Naruto's stomach. Hey Fox Demon guy, are you really as strong as they say? Luffy said. Hey, what are you doing, you weirdo? You can't talk to him like that. Naruto said. Come on, this is the way to the Valley of the End. Kakashi said. I hope you don't mind a little tree climbing, it's kind of the way we get around here. In an instant Luffy was gone. Where did he go? Naruto said. Awesome. Luffy yelled off in the distance. Does he even know where he's going? Kakashi sighed. He is very brash and one-track minded. As soon as he knows what to do, he sets out to do it. Robin explained. I hope it won't be a problem, Kakashi-kun. Robin said with an innocent giggle. Well, I suppose it's alright. After all, I have to deal with this idiot all the time. Kakashi said. Hey Luffy, slow down would ya? Naruto said, chasing after Luffy in the thicket. Let's not get left behind. Robin said as she also jumped into the thicket. Kakashi followed. What is this place? A curious Chopper asked as he was led through bog. The air was thick and rancid. The soil below him was as wet as water and got stuck between his cloven hooves, disgusting the poor doctor. The trees were indistinguishable from the moss and algae that all over them. There were numerous kinds of fungi sprouting everywhere. It's so disgusting here. Is this really going to help me learn medical jutsu? Chopper asked. Well, no one can say for sure if you're going to be able to learn medical jutsu, but you should be lucky to be allowed to come here. Only the most skilled medical nins in Konoha had ever stepped foot here. Sakura said. Training ground number 12, the Poison Marsh. Sakura introduced. Chopper shivered. This whole place is poisonous. Chopper inquired cautiously, taking each step. Well, in a way, yes. The air is a specifically made gas that deteriorates one's chakra energy. So if you stay too long in it without proper chakra control, you could possibly die. She said nonchalantly. Why would you bring me to a place like this? Let me out, let me out, let me out. Chopper began to chant. He attempted to escape, but Sakura grabbed him before his feet could hit the ground. Don't worry. It takes over 3 days for it to be lethal to anyone. It also doesn't work as well on animals or whatever you are. Sakura said. I'm a reindeer. Chopper said, struggling in the young girl's hands. I've seen a lot of animals talk, but I've never seen a reindeer. Are you a summoned creature? Sakura asked. Summoned? No, I just ate the human fruit. Chopper explained. Human fruit? Sakura said, confused. Yay, it's one of the devil fruits. Chopper said. You're not making any sense, a fruit made you talk. Sakura said, finally dropping the young reindeer. Yeah, in the world we come from there are these special fruits called devil fruits that can give you amazing abilities. When I was young I ate one that gave me the ability to become a human. Chopper explained. Really, you don't look like a human at all, more like a tanuki. Sakura said. Suddenly a giant insect launched itself at Sakura. Look out. Chopper yelled as he jumped in the way. Heavy point. In an instant he became a hulking monster, slamming the insect into the bog. Sakura could only stare mouth agape. Are you alright? Chopper asked. Is that supposed to be a human? Sakura asked. Yeah, this is my most human form. Chopper said, scratching his head shyly. I know it makes me look more like a monster, but I need to be strong to help my captain. You must have the strangest crew ever. Sakura said, still trying to recover from the shock. Chopper changed back to his hybrid form. I'll try to stay like this while I learn medical jutsu. Chopper said. Okay, I really like this form better. Sakura said. Lady Tsunade should arrive soon. When she does we can really begin to train. Okay. Chopper said. What have we gotten ourselves into? Sakura questioned in her mind. Oh man, everyone is off on their mission and I'm left here alone. Usopp said, losing all hope. Since when were we so relaxed about a missing crew member? Do they all have that much confidence? Well then I must be that confident too to rescue him. After all, if the crew can't trust me, who else can they trust? Yo, Pinocchio. Keep it down over there. A voice called. I'm trying to clean house over here and you're breaking my concentration. Yusuf quickly closed his mouth, realizing he was shouting in the streets. He turned to see two young men playing a game of poker under the shade of a tree. After a while he recognized them. The dog boy. The bug guy. I was told you guys could help me. He said, relieved. The bug guy responded with a cold glare. Oh crap, this is also the guy who clocked me in the face, Yusuf said with bad memories. Understand this, you may have been given a pass by the Hokage, but we are not allies. He began. Second, if you request assistance, it's only polite to address someone by their name. Yusuf hesitated, surprised by the amount of manners the weirdo before him demanded. I'm sorry. Oh, what are your names? Yusuf said, bowing. Oh, ahem. My name is Yusuf. I am known as Shino Abiram, and the answer is no. Shino introduced himself. You don't even know what I'm about to ask. Yusuf said, shocked at his emphatic answer. The name's Kiba in Yuzuka, this is Akamaru. Kiba said, rubbing his pooch's head. Akamaru made a quiet bark in glee. Don't mind Shino, he always likes to be cautious with strangers, and especially with the way you guys came into town, I can't blame him. Kiba explained, exactly what do you want with us? Well, it's about the skeleton that ran out of the town. I know it's hard to believe, but he's actually alive and a part of our crew. I just need to find him to make sure he hasn't hurt himself or anyone. The answer is still no. Shino said without missing a beat. What do I have to do to convince you? Yusuf said, again shocked with his answer. Well, I don't care either way, but Akamaru seems to really want to help you out. Kiba said. Akamaru barked again with his mouth drooling this time. He imagined chewing the sweet and succulent bones of Brook. Hey, that's great. Yusuf said, excited. But I'd also like to finish whooping Shino's ass in this game. Do you think I'm a fool? I know you scented each card in this deck a long time ago. Shino revealed. Kiba broke into a cold sweat. I let you win those last few rounds, so you'd think you were getting the upper hand with your cheating. But I've already covered the scent with my bug's natural odor. Why would you say your plan out loud? Yusuf said. What are you talking about? I wasn't cheating. Kiba said. Shino then dropped his cards on the small table. Since this game has become pointless, I'll help you find your friend Yusuf. Shino said. The game was your only reason for not helping me? Yusuf said, astonished at the revelation. Fine, whatever, you sore loser. Kiba said, dropping his cards too. You seen Hinata around? He asked. Lady Hinata will not be accompanying these intruders to our village. A voice said not far away. If you require additional assistance, I'll be more than happy to take her place. Niji revealed himself to the newly formed group. Ah, your eyes the same eyes as the spirit girl. Thank you. Yusuf said. Niji shot him an angry glare that could only be read as I'm watching you. What's with all the weird people in this village? Yusuf thought to himself, worried about the expression on the Hyuga's face. Can I really trust them to help me find Brook? So this that Valley of the End place? Luffy asked, looking around where they had landed. Yay, just over here is the village in the sound. Naruto said. For some reason, the four felt compelled to watch the rushing water cascade down into the valley. Be on your guard, even with Orochimaru gone, the village hidden in the sound will be a dangerous place. Kakashi warned. Don't worry, we can take care of ourselves. Luffy said confidently. I'm more worried if we're going to find food soon. Well, if you didn't eat all of that meat we had on the way here, we wouldn't have this issue now, would we? Kakashi said. Sasuke was Orochimaru's pupil. Since Orochimaru used to run things here, some of the people may know Sasuke and where he went. Naruto said. I may benefit us to ask the townspeople what they know. Robin said. And we'll find out what kind of food they have there too. Luffy said, getting excited. He leapt off the ground, only realizing how great the drop was as he looked below. Wow, so huge. He said in alright before he landed on a rock, crushing his golden jewels. Ow, he muttered as he continued to plummet into rock after rock after rock, finally falling into the ravine. Why does he always act before thinking? Kakashi said, frustrated with the young captain. We have to rescue him. Robin said urgently. Why? Can't he just use his stretchy arms to get back up? Naruto asked. He can't swim and being in water drains his strength. Robin explained. I can tell you more later. Right now we need to get him out of the water. I'm on it. Kakashi said as he jumped down. Luffy approached the waterfall, flailing about and coughing up water. As Kakashi got closer, Luffy sank deeper into the water. Robin and Naruto slowly made their way down as well. Luffy emerged, unconsciously falling over the great drop of the waterfall. A net of arms suddenly appeared, attempting to catch him. Magenta fleur. Net. Luffy fell into the net, but the water continued to rush through the hands and Luffy. I don't know how much longer I can hold him. Robin said, feeling the drain of the water. Water style. Dragon Miss Lee. Suddenly a dragon's head emerged from the current, taking Luffy with it. It dropped right in front of Kakashi, who was standing on the water. As the spout returned to the river, Kakashi grabbed Luffy's arm, freeing him from the wrath of the water surge. "I hope you weren't bluffing when you said you could help," Kakashi said. Luffy slowly opened his eyes. "Walking on water." "Zetsu?" the masked man called. An odd creature emerged through the floor like a newly sprouted tree. "Yes, Toby," it responded. "What do you have to tell us about our new interlopers?" "Well, two of them have chosen to remain in the village and don't seem to be much of a threat," Zetsu began with a bright and cheery voice. "It seems the rest decided to split up with shinobi from Konoha." "Split up?" "Yes, two of the fools appear to be headed towards Sunagakur in an attempt to repair their ship," Zetsu continued, now with a dark and guttural voice. "Interesting, I sent Kisame to the Suna not too long ago to retrieve the one tail. He had been itching for combat since Itachi's death," Toby said. "Water against sand, what a cruel opponent you've set up for the Kazukiage," Zetsu replied in his light-hearted tone. "What about the others? I want to know what their leader is doing." "Well, the Straw Hat Boy and his mistress appear to be accompanying the Nine Tails and the copy ninja Kakashi to Itagakur, the village hidden in the sound. Apparently they have a goal of meeting with Sasuke." "Is that loser is still chasing me?" a stern voice said from the background. "And here I thought we had finally agreed he would die at my hand." "Sasuke, you seem to have adapted to those eyes quickly," Toby said. "Do you think Naruto wishes to settle things with you outside of Konoha?" "I don't care what he wants. If I see him I'll kill him and all of his friends. Honestly, I'd rather test my brother's eyes out on bigger game." "Well, the Eight Tails has returned to Kumagakur. Do you think you'd be up for a rematch?" "It won't even be a challenge," Sasuke said as he exited the cave. "Not with you guiding me, brother," he thought, marveling at his new vision. "It would be trouble for me if Sasuke killed Naruto now." "Deidara. Sasori. Can I trust you to intercept the Nine Tails path?" "So I get the honors of turning the Nine Tails into the most brilliant masterpiece, an eager young man said. "We're not going to destroy him, fool, we need the beast from within him," a bulky figure reprimanded him. "HMPH, whatever the case may be, know that this assignment will be completed with a bang." But that they left the cave. "Is that all you have to report, Zetsu?" "So far, yes. A clone of mine is in the process of learning more about another one of the interlopers," Zetsu replied. "Tell me, has Nagato completely recovered?" "Konan has been tending to him back in Omegakure. From what I've heard he is close to 100%. Good, be sure no harm comes his way. In his condition, we can't risk someone attacking him. He is still vital to our operation." But that Zetsu slipped back into the ground. "It appears everything is falling into place. If I can use these newcomers wisely, the Moon's Eye plan will be complete and the world will be at peace," Toby thought in the solitude of the dim cave. "Puppets?" Frankie said. "Yes, there are many ninja from Sunagakur who spend years designing and training to use puppets in combat. It has been a somewhat controversial practice in the ninja world, but the Sunagakur military is one of the most feared and respected, likely because of it," Sai replied. They had been traveling through a large forest. There wasn't much wildlife to be found, but the distant sun shined brightly from the canopy far away. There were night trees at the beginning of the forest, but as they progressed through the marked trail, the trees began to lessen in both quantity and size. Sand could be seen scattered on the forest floor, and the distinct desert air sometimes found its ways past the trees. "Of course, when someone builds some super weaponry, it can't help but stir up the people," Frankie said, excited. "I can't wait to see what kind of stuff they have, maybe I can even upgrade BF-37. "BF-37? Sai said, confused. "Have you been asleep, or could it be these magnificent metal enhancements have Somio past your eye?" Frankie said in his signature position. "What you see before you is the pinnacle of strength among heroes and perverts alike. Armored me." The blistering sun shined brightly on his metal body, and a powerful ocean wave somehow appeared behind him, crashing against it, creating a magnificent shower of flashiness. "So you really are a cyborg?" Sai said nonchalantly. "Affirmative," Frankie said in a robotic voice. "In a way it kind of makes you a living puppet, you're sure to either impress or aggravate the people of the village." "What are you doing?" Zoro suddenly yelled. Sakura had grabbed Sandai Kitetsu and was holding it in the air, inspecting it. "Give me back my swords, you crazy woman," Zoro said, aggravated and chasing the young girl. "I just want to see WHT makes these swords so strong is all. I mean, these have to be infused with some for you to use those cutting techniques. Just hand them over before I cut you down to size," Zoro threatened. Frankie and Sai watched the ridiculous struggle, both feeling a certain level of shame in their companions. "It's getting late. We should camp out here. We should be approaching the Valley of Winds. From there it will only be a short desert journey to Sunagakur," Sai said as he and Frankie walked past the two bickering fools. You're just gonna walk away? Zora yelled, still reaching for now all three of his swords from Sakura, who struggled to keep him at bay. In a dark and gloomy forest, a mysterious fog covers the area, fooling even the most adaptive creatures. One could easily become vexed and confused by the repeating patterns of the seemingly undead trees. One can only hear the whistling of their branches and the humming of a phantom, somehow finding itself lost in the mist of the woods. I have been walking here for what seems like ages. The phantom said, taking a momentary pause from his humming. How many days has it been? He continued to slowly step through the woods using his cane as a support. His steps cracked the dead earth beneath him. The fog, this maze, these trees. They all tell me one thing, he said, finally stopping his movement. I'm lost. Somebody help me. He yelled into the distance. Chapter 8. The Pact. Alright, this is where we'll be training. Sakura said as she and Chopper made it to a clearing. Chopper was amazed to see a large dead-looking tree with hanging branches. The branches swayed in the filthy breeze of the bog, paper-thin like noodles. Somehow the purple and expired leaves remained on these lifeless branches. They looked like they'd break if someone so much as coughed on them. What is wrong with this tree? Chopper said, looking at its derelict condition. This tree has been passed down in the Senju clan for generations. Sakura began. The Senjus were known for their large chakra reserves, which are invaluable in using medical jutsu. They were also masters at manipulating nature, Hashirama Senju being one of the only ninja capable of using wood jutsu and medical jutsu without seals. Wow, he must have been an amazing healer. Chopper said, getting excited. Well, he founded this village and was regarded as the strongest shinobi who ever lived. Sakura said with a smile. Wow, do you think I'll be able to become as good as him? Chopper said, imagining himself as ninja in white garb and rubber gloves. Well, I suppose anything is possible, Sakura said, unsure. You'd be the weirdest ninja I'd ever seen. She thought, imagining Chopper's head on the Hokage monument. So is this Hashirama guy going to train me too? Chopper asked. No, he's long gone. But Lady Tsunade is his granddaughter. She is the world's best medical ninja and was my sensei too. Sakura clarified. Wow, amazing. I really am going to be the greatest doctor. Chopper said, now excited more than ever. Well, if that's what you want to be, you're going to have to listen up and pay attention. Tsunade said, coming from behind the tree. Lady Tsunade. Sakura said. Are you ready? Tsunade asked. Yes, teach me, Lady Tsunade sensei. Chopper said, bowing his head. Tsunade smiled and prepared to begin. Easy, Akamaru, remember this guy is their friend, don't want you to chomping down on him. Kiba said as Akamaru was excitedly sniffing up a trail through some wet leaves. This area is unfamiliar. Are you sure Akamaru isn't going on his own path? Shino said, following behind them. No way, the scent of death on that fiddle long nose gave us was way too strong to be mistakable. Even though I can pick it out of all the scents in this forest. Kiba said. Hey, where is he anyway? Hurry up. Do you want to find your friend or not? Niji said, dragging Usopp through the dark forest. I'm trying, but I think my can't go in unholy ninja forest disease has caught up with me. Usopp said, lugging his feet along. How disgusting, you're too weak to go by yourself, so you find other people to do the dirty work for you. Niji said, dropping the limp boy. Hey. I'm more than capable of traveling through the forest. Usopp immediately sprung back up. I just have to be careful. I don't know what kind of ninja demons exist here. Usopp said. Pathetic, one wonders how you made it this far. Niji muttered. I suppose that's to be expected from a pirate. Hey, don't you talk badly about pirates. To be a pirate is to have the most freedom on the seas. Usopp said. Hey guys, you'll can make out later, Shino's got something. Kiba said. Usopp and Niji shot each other one last angry glare, then reluctantly followed Kiba. This mist that covers the forest, it's unnatural. Shino said. My bug's making sure to avoid it so it's not a jutsu or anything of the sort. Keep on your guard, your cohort may be in danger. Uh-oh, I hope this isn't poison. Usopp gulped. If it was poison I think we'd all be dead already. This place is funky with the stuff. Kiba said. Besides, your friend is already dead, right? I doubt poison could kill him again. I was talking about me. Usopp said. Coward. Niji said. I'm not a coward. Anyway, why don't you use your eyes or something? I thought you said you'd help. I said I would accompany you, I didn't say anything about assisting you. Niji said. Man, you're difficult. Usopp sighed. Yo, long nose, you know any signs we should look out for? Kiba asked. Well, Brook is our musician, so I would listen out for humming or singing. Usopp said. Alright, you heard him, Akamaru, perk up those ears. Kiba said. Bark bark. Akamaru agreed. Alright Brook, if you're out there, the brave Captain Usopp and his merry men are coming to save you. Usopp said triumphantly. He turned around to see a pair of eyes on a tree. One was white and the other was a yellow-greenish color. "Ah. That tree is alive," Yusuf said. He immediately fired an exploding star at it, leaving only a small cloud of smoke and an assumingly angry tree. The other three boys just stared at him in both shame and confusion. "What a fruitless endeavor," Niji said, unintentionally restarting the search. Yusuf stared at the tree one more time, uncertain of what he just saw. Deciding not to get left behind, he ran after the others. As they walked away, Zetsu's hideous figure emerged from the tree with his typical wicked smile. "It appears the interlopers are approaching a megacure," Black Zetsu said. "It would be wise to stop them before they reach Nagato in his pitiful condition." "Why dirty our hands? Last I checked, Kakuzu and Haiden were in the waterfall village after their success in capturing the Seven Tails," his brighter half suggested. "Ah, they should be more than capable of taking out these weaklings," his dark half agreed. "Let us inform them our friends here." "Ah man, that feels good," Luffy said as he dipped his feet inside a hot tub and nothing but a towel. "Man, this place ain't bad at all. I don't know why you guys said it would be dangerous." "Yay, the people here have definitely changed since Orochimaru left," Naruto said, coming in from the changing room with his towel on. "It's a shame no one knows where Sasuke went, but at least we got to stay at this awesome hotel," he said, getting in the tub. "Ah, this onsen is great. Usually there are a bunch of old sweaty perverts in these places." He then noticed Luffy kicking the water on the edge of the tub. "Hey, what's the matter? You scared it's too hot?" Naruto asked. "Oh no, I wish I could, but I'd just pass out," Luffy laughed. "Oh yay, I forgot you ate that weird fruit that makes you a hammer in water," Naruto said. "I can't imagine why a pirate would want to eat a fruit that makes them unable to swim. Doesn't it make life on the seas harder?" "It's not so bad. I'm a pretty careful guy after all," Luffy said. "Did he really just that?" Naruto pondered. "Besides, if I ever fall, I always have my crew to help me if I ever fall in the ocean," Luffy reassured. "I guess that's true. From what Kakashi-sensei told me, your crew is pretty strong," Naruto said. "Yay, I missed most of it, but it looked like that battle was huge." "Is he strong?" Luffy asked. "Kakashi-sensei? He's copied over 1,000 jutsu with his Sharingan and was almost the Hokage once," Naruto said excitedly. "I don't think I would have made it this far without him." "Wow, that's so awesome," Luffy said with stars in his eyes. "Hey, where is he anyway? He didn't want to come to the onsen?" Naruto asked. "No, he said he had some business to attend to," Luffy said. "Business?" Naruto said, somewhat intrigued. Luffy nodded. "I think he has something else on his mind," Naruto said with an inquisitive gleam in his eye. "He was keeping a close eye on your scary pirate lady friend." "Robin?" Luffy said, puzzled. "She kind of scares me," Naruto said. "She has that weird power that lets her sprout arms everywhere and a really dark aura around her. And that smile that says I can kill you right now if I wanted to," Naruto said with shivers down his spine. "She used to be an assassin, you know," Luffy said nonchalantly. "You don't say," Naruto said with tears in his eyes. "I need to remember to sleep with one eye open tonight." "I wonder what he'd want with her," Luffy wondered. A gentle sunset painted the sky with a delicate magenta hue. The sun was halfway down the horizon and leaving stardust in its path to decorate the empty patches of its easel. The tranquil archaeologist was reading a book on the rooftop of the large hotel. She could see the entire town from here, but it didn't interest her. After enjoying a small cup of espresso and a tiny coffee cake of just the perfect sweetness, she was only focused on reading her literature. "So you've come to join me, Kakashi-kun?" she said without breaking concentration. "Do you not trust me?" As if he fell from the sky itself, Kakashi appeared, assumedly from another roof. "You pay close attention to your surroundings," Kakashi said. "Forgive me if I came off as a bit too cautious, I believe I can trust you." "It's okay, you're probably right to be wary of me," Robin said, keeping her eyes on her book. "Really? That sounds like a threat to me," Kakashi said, finding himself a nice section of roof to sit on. You can think of it as a threat if you like. It may benefit you more to see it as an unwritten condition for traveling with pirates," Robin informed. "Then I suppose you can forgive me if I'm not cautious enough," Kakashi replied, noticing she seemed to refuse to take her eyes off her book. "You've been reading a lot of books from our library. Do you have an interest in our world?" he asked. "It appears you've enjoyed your reading as well. Perhaps you can tell me what this Icha Paradise novel is about sometime," Robin said. It's a bit of a long and boring read, really. You wouldn't like it, I'm sure," Kakashi said, getting somewhat flustered. Robin laughed softly at the display. "Your world is very interesting. But I'm sure I'll learn more about that as we remain here," Robin answered. "I'm more interested in this Uchiha clan and this Sasuke Uchiha." "Well, I'm sure I don't have to tell you that has a complicated answer." "Of course. Why would someone who came across our world by mistake be interested in something like that?" You can say I am a bit of a history buff. Robin said, clearly taking pleasure confusing the ninja. Kakashi raised an eyebrow. A woman who takes pleasure leaving people guessing what her motives are, he sighed. That's the most dangerous kind of woman. Robin found herself laughing slightly harder than she had before. It was more like a young girl's laugh than a grown adult. My motives are simple. Right now my only motive is to help my captain achieve his dream. I've been meaning to ask. What could drive a woman like you to join the crew of such a reckless man? Kakashi pried. For the first time, Robin closed her book. She put it on her lap and closed her eyes. That's a question that invokes a lot in me. Robin said, reminiscing about her adventures with the Strawwats. I guess you could say there are some people in this world who seem like they aren't meant to do anything. They stand out in a crowd of dreamers and aspire for far much than anyone can achieve. But then they surprise you, time and time again, but achieving those goals, and they captivate you. Robin explained. Since I was young I've always found a fascination with the mysteries of the world. I suppose my captain is one of those mysteries. Robin said, opening her eyes. Kakashi focused his eye on her, soaking the words in. He could tell that even if right now this crew didn't seem to have much chemistry, they have been through a lot together. If this woman he was struggling to figure out could suddenly outpour with emotion, they had to have strong bonds. I suppose I can understand that. People like him always seem to have something they want to prove to the world, and they are stubborn beyond all else. Kakashi agreed, knowing his student. I suppose your loyalty alone is what has brought you on this trip then. Perhaps. But I've also come on my own accord. Robin corrected. In your student, Mr. Uzumaki, I can see that mysterious force of will. The story he has. To have to live your childhood being known as a demon is a pain I can relate to. I can't imagine that. Kakashi said as he stood up. Robin looked at him for the first time in their conversation. She questioned. All things considered, you are a powerful woman. But even knowing that, I can't imagine you being considered something like a demon. He walked to the balcony right next to Robin's chair. Oh? So what would you consider me then, Kakashi-kun? Robin said, intrigued by his statement. It was quiet for a while on that breezy rooftop. Finally Kakashi found an answer for her question. An enigma, he said. To this Robin found herself wholeheartedly laughing. It was far from hysterical, but it was also far beyond her normal soft chuckling. It was the way a normal person would laugh at a pun, but from her it still managed to maintain its sweetness and dignity. Kakashi paid her laughter no mind and continued to stare out over the rooftop. He was surprised to notice she had also gotten out of her seat and was next to him over the balcony. I would like to understand what drives him to go as far as he has. Robin said, continuing their original conversation. It was quiet again as they embraced the breeze and looked at the sky. Loneliness is a powerful motivator. Kakashi said. They looked out as the sky slowly changed from magenta to violet and the stardust began to shine. It is. Robin said with a warm smile. She's a really good person though. She saved my life more times than I can remember. Luffy guaranteed. Well, I guess I can trust her then, although I don't want to think about those hands sprouting on me. Naruto said, feeling grossed out just by the thought. She ate a devil fruit too. Really? That explains a lot. You know, while it may sound weird, having fruits lying around that can give you superpowers sounds pretty cool. Well, they're kind of rare. I've seen a lot of strong guys with abilities, but the only devil fruit I've actually ever seen was the one I ate. Oh man, really? I was hoping you had one. I'd like to be able to stretch like that. Naruto said. Well, there's only one gum fruit and I ate it, but there's a lot of other really cool ones, like ones that can make you turn into a leopard, or make you into sand, or even bring you back to life after you die. Luffy explained. Oh man, now I really want one. Naruto said, getting excited. Your world sounds amazing. I wish I could see it. Shishi, it's pretty awesome, but this place is cool too. I don't think I've ever seen people make clones of their self or use demon magic. Luffy said. It's not magic, it's chakra. Naruto said. Chakra? Luffy said inquisitively. Yay, it's like how did Iruka-sensei explain it? Naruto said, thinking for a moment. Well, it's kind of like energy that all living things have that allows them to use jutsu and stuff. And then there was something about chakra networks and chakra being released through channels. Naruto struggled to explain. Now that I think about it, I don't quite get it myself. He shyly scratched the back of his head. I get it. It's mystery energy. Luffy said, confident in his acute analysis. Yay. Something like that. Naruto concurred. Point is, it lets us do all kinds of stuff like create jutsu, use nature, or even walk on trees and water. Ah, that's right, I saw Cyclops do that earlier, that's so awesome. Luffy suddenly shouted. You gotta teach me how to do that. Teach you water walking? I don't know, it took me a lot of practice to get the chakra control just right. Naruto said with a cheeky grin on his face. Hey, I'm a pretty fast learner, you know. Luffy said. Well, I guess you wouldn't have to worry about falling in water if you could just walk on top of it. Naruto considered. Alright, I'm not much of a teacher, but I'll show you how to walk on water. Yes. Luffy said, excitedly prepared. Well, first you have to channel your chakra to your feet like this. Naruto said, lifting his foot out of the water. It had a light blue hue around it. Okay. Luffy said, raising his own foot. Luffy immediately began struggling to achieve the same effect as Naruto. Veins began popping out of his head as it burned a vibrant red. As his leg was raised, his towel lifted with it, uncovering Luffy just enough for Naruto to see. Luffy eventually gave out from under all the stress. Oh man, this is hard. He said, breathing heavily. Hey, Luffy, does the gum fruit give you an extra leg? Naruto asked with a puzzled look. No. Luffy replied. Oh, Naruto said, still somewhat confused. He then started putting the pieces together. Lifting his own towel a little bit, he took a glance at himself and suddenly felt uncomfortable. Luffy tried again, still struggling to even make the smallest chakra aura. Well, this is where he'd probably say to stop forcing too much energy and try to focus it there. Naruto said. Luffy paused for a moment. Ah, focus. He said as if he had an epiphany. The hot room was filled with the sound of Luffy's high-pitched whirring. He kept his eyes closed, with his legs still in the air. It then turned black. Whoa, I've never seen chakra do that before. Naruto said. Luffy said, finally stopping the incessant noise he was making. Oh no, this is Haki. Haki? Naruto asked. Yay, this is color of armaments. It makes my attacks a lot stronger. I can also use color of observation and the Conqueror. Conqueror? Yay, if somebody is weak I can knock them out cold. Luffy said, placing his foot down. That must be what Kakashi was talking about. He said when you appeared everybody just dropped to the floor. Naruto said. So what does observation do? Lets me sense everything around me and predict how opponents are gonna attack me. Luffy said. Really? Naruto said. I can do something similar if I meditate. Oh, I don't need to meditate to use it. There are 243 people in this hotel and Cyclops and Robin are on the roof. Luffy said. What, no way, you're just guessing. Naruto accused. No, it's true. Luffy retorted. Alright, let's test that, close your eyes. Naruto said. Luffy did so and Naruto prepared massive clones. They all jumped around and danced the room, making loud and obnoxious noises. Alright, how many clones are in here now? Naruto asked with a pompous laugh. 16. Luffy replied. Ah, I knew it. Naruto said triumphantly. No wait, there are 15 clones. One of those forces is really strong and faint. Luffy said. What? Naruto said, now confused. And it's angry. Oh man, is there a really strong guy in the room right now? Luffy said, opening his eyes excitedly. The clones disappeared one by one, each one more dumbfounded as it vanished in a cloud of smoke. No, that must be the Nine Tails. Naruto said, looking at his seal on his stomach. Oh yay, the demon guy. One of these days you gotta show me what he can do. Luffy said. So it looks like you have mystery forces in your own world too. Naruto said, still amazed at Luffy's ability. Even my sage mode sensing isn't as accurate as that. Yay, but none that can make you walk on water. Luffy said, once again attempt to channel chakra. Naruto thought for a moment. He then stood up in the water. Alright Luffy. This is our new deal. If I'm gonna teach you how to use chakra, then you gotta teach me how to use Haki. Naruto declared. Teach? I've never taught anyone anything in my life. Luffy said. Think about it. If you learn how to walk on water, you won't have to worry about drowning and get stronger as a pirate. If I learn how to use Haki, I can detect everything around me even faster than Sasuke. I'll get stronger as a ninja. What do you say? Naruto said, reaching out his hand. He extended 2 fingers. What's that? Luffy asked. It's the shinobi sign of reconciliation and respect. Just means we got each other's backs. Naruto said. Luffy had a blank expression on his face. That's dumb. Luffy said. Hey, this is how ninjas show their bonds. Naruto said. Although he couldn't help but remember how long ago he once refused to use the sign when facing Sasuke and how now he would give anything just to have his surly friend back home. Maybe it is a bit much. Naruto said, reconsidering. No, not that stuff. I just mean the way your fingers are. Luffy said. Naruto looked confused. No one's bond should be as weak as 2 fingers. You should use your whole fist to show your friendships. Luffy said, extending his fist. Naruto, still trying to figure out this straw hat guy, smiled. Alright. He said confidently. Both of the young men beaming, they bumped fist, signaling their pact to help each other in their dream. They each bore an ecstatic smile, looking forward to nothing short of the path laid ahead of them and the things they would learn from each other. Even if they knew they wouldn't care that they were being watched. Toby, we have some important news. Zetsu said, appearing in the dark cave. Thobi was adjusting his mask. He was standing before a large gunby fan on the cave wall. Go ahead, speak. Toby said, taking the fan off the wall. It appears two of the interlopers are approaching a megacur. Knowing Nagato is still recovering, we've already sent Kakuzu and Haiden in their direction. They are not very strong and should be easily dealt with. White Zetsu began. Thobi didn't respond. He only tied the fan to his back and continued listening. By this time Kisame should be dealing with the Kazukiage. Thobi walked towards the exit of the cave looking prepared for combat. That is all fine, just tell me where the status of Straw Hat and the tailed beasts. Of course. Sasuke has been moving fast from our hideout and is already near the village hidden in the sound. By this time tomorrow he should be taking out the 8 tails. As for the 9 tails, he also seems to be headed in that direction. Eventually he and Sasuke are going to meet. Find out how close Asori and Deidara are. Make sure they prevent the 9 tails from interacting with Sasuke. If they can also separate Straw Hat from the 9 tails. I'm going on a little excursion. It shouldn't take me too long. He said as he stepped out of the cave. Are you planning on fighting someone? Black Zetsu inquired. No, I'm just picking up something. Something that will help me prepare this world for the changing tides. Toby said. He walked away into the light, seemingly vanishing in its essence. Don't forget, our primary objective is to stop the 9 tails from reaching Sasuke. If apprehending him becomes too difficult, we should retreat. Sasori said, crawling along a long pathway. Like I care what happens to that disgusting Uchiha. To be honest, I'd rather be destroying him, after all he took away my chance to kill Itachi. I'll never forgive him for that. Deidara said as they continued on the road. You fool, you could never have hoped to defeat Itachi or Sasuke, you'd just end up killing yourself with those pathetic bombs you call art. Sasori said. Just stick to the plan. Oh Sasori, you truly lack as much will as your puppets. Deidara retorted. Either way, my works of art will ensure us victory. They continued on their path, getting ever closer to Straw Hat Luffy and the Demon Holder. What if Naruto X watches One Piece end here, and thanks for watching my video till the end.